Welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio, 12th January 2025. For tonight's broadcast, we have, we have three programs which are very rarely, I suspect, heard on modern broadcasts of Old Time Radio. And I'll enumerate them here in a moment. But first of all, we'd like to thank you for joining us for another year of Sunday Night with Old Time Radio. It's a real pleasure to share these classic programs from the golden age of radio. It's wonderful to have an audience for them. So, to tonight's program, we begin with Granby's Green Acres. This is the second of just a few episodes that are available to us. The same with It's Higgins, Sir. Higgins arranges dates. There are not many of these episodes of It's Higgins, Sir surviving. And the same is the case for our next program, Cabin B13. This is the very first episode of those available, and we're introduced to Bill and Brenda Leslie. Next, we have something that's much more common and rather exciting. It's Pat Novak for Hire. We have an episode of Confession, and then we move on to The Shadow, an episode entitled The Death House Rescue. So let's get started.
Granby's Green Acres, starring Gale Gordon as John Granby.
Oh, John Granby had a farm.
With Bea Benaderet as Martha Granby.
And on that farm he had a wife.
Louise Erickson as Janice.
With a daughter here.
Harley Bear as Ebb.
And a hired hand there.
Oh, John Granby had a farm.
Now, Mr. Granby plants a crop.
You know, the funny thing about people. Farm people work hard so they can save enough money to move to the city. City people work hard so they can make enough to move to a farm. And between the two, who do you think makes out best? The moving companies. Now, you take my boss, John Granby. He was a city fella. Bought this farm here in Doveville. Don't know the first thing about farming. Gets excited at the least little thing.
Martha! Martha, where are you?
I'm out in the kitchen, John.
Well, come here, quick.
John, what's the matter? Did you hurt yourself?
Martha, look.
What is it?
A potato.
Oh. Well, that's nice, dear.
Nice? Martha, do you realize that this is the first potato?
Oh, John, I'm sure that there must have been potatoes before this.
I mean, it's the first one from our farm. You know, Martha, I feel the same way about this potato as I did when Janice was born.
Oh, that's silly. Janice had more hair.
Martha, you just don't understand what this potato means to me. It's the first step to security. That's why I bought this farm, to have security.
Well, you had security when you were working in the bank. John, maybe you made a mistake in giving up your job.
Oh, but I had to. I couldn't have gone on working as a bank cashier for one more day. I had to get out while the getting was good.
John, they weren't going to examine the books, were they?
It was nothing like that. You know I've always wanted to buy a farm, and when I make up my mind to do something, I don't change it.
But, John, maybe you're not cut out to be a farmer. Doing things like plowing or breeding hogs.
And why couldn't I breed hogs?
Remember that time you bought Janice those 2 rabbits for Easter and you were going to breed them?
Well, what about it?
That wasn't very successful, was it?
Well, it wasn't my fault. They turned out to be brothers. Now, Martha, I must say that
Is anything wrong? I heard you rush into the house yelling for Mother.
Oh, there's nothing wrong, Janice. I was out in the field, and I found a potato.
Oh?
Well, what were you looking for?
I wasn't looking for anything. I just happened to find it.
Then I guess you can keep it for your honesty.
Janice, your father's very proud of that potato. It's the first thing that's grown on the farm.
I don't know why he's so proud. He didn't plant the potatoes. There were 10 acres of them here when we bought the farm from Mr. Parker. The only thing Dad can take credit for is the other 130 acres with nothing growing on them.
Janice, I'm going to grow things on them.
What?
Potatoes. We're going to have 140 acres of potatoes.
Goodness, all that starch.
Dad, do you think potatoes are a good crop to raise?
Why, certainly. Parker told me that when I bought the farm from him, and he's a pretty smart man. Besides, I didn't rely on his word alone. I wrote to Washington and asked them to mail me some pamphlets on the subject.
Oh, John, you shouldn't have done that.
Why not?
Well, these days, President Truman has so many other things to do.
Yes. Look, I've made up my mind to plant potatoes, and I'm going to plant them. And when I make up my mind to do something, I don't change it.
Well, John, do you really think potatoes are a good money crop?
Martha, there's one thing you've got to learn. You can't just think of farming in terms of dollars and cents. The love of the soil is important, too. Now, you take Mr. Calvin down the road. He's been a farmer for 50 years. He's gotten up every morning of his life at 4 o'clock, worked his land in good weather and bad. And why? For the money he could get out of it? No. He loves the soil.
Oh, by the way, Dad, Mr. Calvin was here to see you this afternoon, but you were down in the barn.
Oh, what did he want?
He wanted to show you his new Cadillac.
Cadillac. Imagine buying an expensive car like that. What, is there really that much money in potatoes?
Well, of course. Why, we can
Dad,
have it...
Mr. Calvin is a wheat farmer.
Oh, so he's a wheat farmer.
John, does anybody else around here grow potatoes?
Well,
They all grow wheat and corn.
Then why are you going to plant potatoes?
Well, because well, Martha, I told you, when I make up my mind, I don't change it.
But, John, these other men have been farming around here for years. If they grow wheat and corn, there must be a reason.
There is. They've never done any research on the market prices the way I have. They're too busy.
Yes, driving to the bank in their Cadillacs to deposit money.
Well, they'd have even more money to deposit if they knew what I know. Potatoes are stable. Wheat and corn are speculative. I'll show it to you in black and white. It'll be in the morning paper here.
Oh.
There, here we are. Commodity prices. Trading on the Chicago grain market was very active today. Wheat and corn showed a strong upward trend.
What else does it say?
Cadillac stock went up 4 points.
John, you better hurry up and finish your breakfast.
Yes, it's almost daylight.
Oh, I've got some day ahead of me. I've got to do the milking, plow up all the potatoes, and plant the wheat.
Yes, you have it. Plow up what potatoes and plant what wheat?
Well, after sleeping on it and thinking it over, I've decided that wheat is the only crop to plant.
Oh, but dear, last night you were so convinced about planting potatoes. Why, you even said that Mr. Parker told you that potatoes were the best crop, and you said Mr. Parker was a smart man.
Well, maybe I did, but what did Parker ever do that showed he was so smart?
He sold you this farm.
Mr. Granby?
Oh, there's Abe. I'm going out and do the milking. Oh, good morning, Eb.
Morning, Mr. Granby.
Now, come on, Eb. We've got a big day ahead of us. Let's get over to the barn.
Right with you. My foolish heart.
Eb, open the barn door. Good morning, Bossy. As soon as we finish the milking, Eb, we'll get to work.
You want some help with Bossy?
No, thanks. I've been milking this cow for 3 months, and I think I can manage. Whoa, Bossy. Whoa. Now, let's see. Where do I start milking?
The best place is somewheres between the tail and the head.
Very funny. Let's see. Oh, yes, here it is. Now. She isn't contented.
Mind if I make a suggestion?
What?
Use both hands.
I am using both hands.
Yeah, but not on one faucet.
Oh, all right.
Looks like you're holding on to a baseball bat.
Leave me alone. I'll get started. Well! Now I'm hitting on all 8.
4.
Don't be so technical. Hey, but haven't you got anything else to do besides standing there and criticizing me?
Well, I guess I could go and weed the potatoes.
That won't be necessary anymore.
Why, the weed's gonna stop growing?
Of course not. You don't have to weed the potatoes because we're going to plow them under.
Oh, the government paying you to do it?
Nope.
And you ain't learned much about farming.
Look, Ab.
What are you gonna plant?
140 acres of wheat.
Corn's better.
I said wheat. My mind is made up. When I make up my mind... Okay. I'll be right with you, Bossy. You're welcome. Ed, how long will it take us to plow up those potatoes?
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Why?
We ain't got a tractor.
Well, where can we get a tractor around here? All right, Bossy. There.
Say, you might pick up a tractor cheap at the Henderson place. They're auctioning off his farm today.
Well, let's go over there right after I'm finished milking. We'll do that. Okay, Bossy, okay. Then after we get the tractor, Eb, you can start plowing while I go into town and pick up the wheat seed. Bossy, will you stop nagging? I wish she'd learn how to do that by herself.
How do you do?
How do you do? I wonder if you could help me. I'm looking for Kimball's feed store.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, this is it. It's a little hard to find the first time because my sign blew down. That was in 1902.
Yes. Well, I'm very interested.
That was the year we had the big blow around here in Doveville. Never forget that. Oh, I had the sign hang on the post in the front porch of the store, and then along came this tremendous wind. Oh, I remember looking out the window and seeing Miriam Harkness crossing the street and trying to hold on to her skirt. I never did see the sign go.
Well, that's all very interesting.
I found the sign the next morning, though, and I nailed it back up. Oh, it looked kind of silly there hanging there on the post with the rest of the building lying on the ground.
Well, that's the job.
Yes, here's quite a blow. Never see a pair of purple garters without thinking of Miriam Harkness.
If you don't mind, I'm in somewhat of a hurry. I want to buy some wheat seed.
Certainly. Oh, say, you're the city fella about the old Parker place, ain't you?
That's right. My name's John Granby.
Glad to know you. I'm Will Kimball. You're John Granby.
Yes.
John Granby. Kind of like to repeat a name several times to get it kind of fixed in my mind. I've been in business for 40 years, and I've never forgotten a name. John Granby. Ah, there it is now. Now, I'll never forget that your name is,
Mr. Kimball.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kimball, yes. Now, what did you want?
Some wheat seed, and my name is not Kimball.
Oh, I know that. Kimball is my name. It's on the sign from the store. Oh, no. That blew down during the big wind of 19...
Told me that story. Look, Mr. Kimball, I'd like to buy wheat seed so I can get it planted this afternoon.
How much you figure you'll need?
Well, I'm going to plow up my potatoes and plant my entire farm with wheat, so I'll need enough for 140 acres.
Yeah, then you'll need about 40 tons.
40 tons. 40 tons? Can you break that down into 10-cent packages?
No.
I'll tell you what. I'll take a couple of bushels of seed with me now, and you can deliver the rest.
Well, that's okay. It's quite a project you're undertaking now.
Yes, but I think I can handle it. I bought a tractor today at Tom Henderson's auction.
Oh, say, that was too bad about Tom Henderson losing his farm. You know, it's a terrible thing when a man has to sell all his belongings to pay his creditors.
Oh, it certainly is. By the way, how did Henderson go broke?
Well, it seems to me I heard that he planted the wrong crop.
Oh, is that so? What did he plant?
Wheat.
Wheat?
Yes, sweet. Now I'll go and get your seed. What kind was it you said you wanted?
Corn.
It's going to be a good year for corn.
Oh, you really think so?
Oh, yes, I've sold a lot of corn. Everybody around here is planting corn. Yeah, it's going to be an awful lot of corn.
Oh, well, now, won't that bring the price down?
Oh, probably. Well, I'll get your seed for you in a minute, mister. Well, I'll have the seed for you in just a minute.
Thanks. Everybody's planting corn. Huh? That means the market will be flooded with it. But if I were growing wheat...
Here's your corn seed.
I'd rather have wheat.
Wheat? Didn't you say...
Look, I came in here to buy wheat, and that's what I'm going to buy.
Well, whatever you say, but I'll take this back and get you wheat, mister.
Yeah, all right. That's a good thing I'm not a man.
Mr. Granby!
Yeah, what is it?
I just wanted to show you I never forget a name.
Oh, good. Yes, sir, I'll plant wheat. It's a good thing I'm not the kind of man who gets panicky and is easily swayed. Let 'em all grow corn. But when there's a shortage of wheat, who'll have it? Me.
Well, here's your wheat. Oh,
Yeah.
those bags here are heavy. Well, well, I hope you have better luck than Tom Henderson. Oh, I never could understand him. He was a farmer for 30 years, and when everybody was growing corn, he thought he'd be smart and plant wheat.
Did you say he was a farmer for 30 years?
Yeah. Say, do you want me to help you out to your car with this wheat seed?
No, thanks. I can manage it. Goodbye.
So long.
Mr. Kimball,
Yes?
would you mind changing this wheat for corn?
We'll return to Granby's Green Acres in a moment. There are a lot of laughs around these Monday nights when Joan Davis comes to CBS to play her role of a madcap, dizzy department store clerk. Yes, Joan Davis is back on CBS with her comedy show, Leave It to Joan. So go shopping with her tonight on most of these same CBS stations, won't you? And now back to Granby's Green Acres.
There's one thing about John Granby. When he makes up his mind, nothing can change it. When he made up his mind to leave his job at the bank, he left it. When he made up his mind to buy a farm, he bought it. And when he made up his mind to plant potatoes, did he plant wheat? No, sir, he planted corn.
John, hold still. How can I rub your back with this liniment?
Oh, be careful. I must have stooped over 10,000 times today planting those corn seeds in those furrows. We'll harrow them the first thing in the morning before the birds get to them.
Well, does it feel any better if I rub it here?
A little higher. That's...
What's the matter?
That was too high.
Dad, is there anything I can do for you?
Yes. Pour some hot water in this basin so I can soak my feet.
Sure.
Oh, that feels wonderful.
Is there anything else you want me to do for you?
Yes, take off my shoes.
John, you shouldn't have tried to plant all the corn in one day.
Well, it had to be done today because Martha, your hands are cold.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what a day Eb and I had.
Oh, that poor old man. John, you shouldn't have worked him so hard. He's at least 20 years older than you.
Oh, we were so busy it never occurred to me. Wonder how he is.
Janice, why don't you run over to Eb's room and see?
He's not home.
Oh, where is he?
He went to a square dance.
A square dance? Why, that old fool ought to have just... Higher, Martha.
She's massaging your head now.
Lower, Martha. This will all be worth it. When I harvest the corn, I'll be sitting pretty.
Higher or lower?
Dad, yesterday you were just as sure about planting wheat. What made you change your mind?
I didn't change my mind. I just made a different decision. Take my word for it, corn is the crop.
Oh, well, dear, don't you think it's time we went to bed?
In a minute, I want to get the weather report. Janice, will you turn on the radio?
All right, Dad. But I hope the battery holds up.
Program for this evening.
This is Columbia Station for Jonathan County. Now, here's tomorrow's weather forecast. Clear and warmer. Lowest temperature around 51.
Well, that's great weather for corn.
And now a last-minute roundup of closing commodity prices. On the Chicago Grain Exchange,
This is what I'm interested in.
wheat hit a new high for the year, while corn showed a strong downward trend.
Shut it off. How do you like that? I wanted to plant wheat.
Then why did you plant corn? You shouldn't have changed your mind.
Janice, you know that when I make up my mind, I never change it. Do I? Well, do I? Please, let's not have these awkward pauses.
Oh, hello there. It's good to see you again, Mr.
Once and for all, the name is Granby.
Oh, I remember. Never forget a name. You know, I do it by association. What was I talking to you about the first time you came in here?
The big wind you had in 1902.
Exactly. Now, whenever I want to remember you, I think of the big wind.
Mr. Kimball, I came in on business.
Well, of course. What can I do for you, Mr. Wind? They were... You see, I didn't forget that time.
No. Mr. Kimball, I'd like to exchange the corn seed I bought from you yesterday.
You didn't plant them?
Oh, yes, I did.
These were left over.
No.
Oh, did you find some in the barn?
No.
Then where'd you get these?
I dug them up. I'd like to exchange them for wheat seed.
Oh, then you've changed your mind.
I never change my mind.
Well, Mr.
Remember Wind?
Wind? I thought your name was Granby.
Forget it. What about exchanging the corn seed?
Yes, but they're second-hand. I really have very little call for used seed.
Well, maybe you could allow me something on them.
Well, well, you're new here. These things do happen. Well, I'll exchange them for you this time.
Oh.
Let me pour this corn back in the bin, then I'll get the wheat seed for you.
Mm-hmm. You'll notice, Mr. Kimball, that seed looks just like new.
Yes, it does. It does.
Didn't my wife do a good job of washing it?
Did you say your wife washed the seed?
Yes. Is there anything wrong?
No, but next time...
Yes?
Tell her not to use so much starch.
Oh, Martha, be careful.
Well, I'm rubbing your back as carefully as I can.
Oh, what a time we've had. Picking up every one of those corn seeds and then planting wheat.
Oh, you poor dear. You and Eb have worked awfully hard.
Yes, I'll bet he didn't go to any square dance tonight.
No. He's in a Charleston contest.
Charleston? That's enough, Martha.
All right.
My back's beginning to feel better. It doesn't hurt me anymore.
You won't have any trouble sleeping tonight.
No, in fact, I'll probably sleep until it's time to harvest the wheat.
Dad, I hate to bring this up, but doesn't wheat have to be weeded and cultivated?
Well, let that Fred Astaire I've got for a hired hand do it. Turn on the radio. I want to hear the market reports.
Program for this evening. This is Columbia Station for Jonathan County. Now, here's today's farm news. On the Chicago Grain Exchange today, corn rebounded upward from yesterday's low, while wheat dropped sharply.
John, you look so pale. Speak to me.
Rub my back.
But, John, you said it didn't hurt anymore.
I know what's coming. Hello, Mr. Kimball.
Oh, hello there, Mr.
The name is...
Don't tell me that. I never forget a name. Mr.
Oh, skip it.
Oh, yes, Mr. Skip. Say, haven't we been having wonderful weather? Oh, the sky's been so clear.
Has it? I haven't looked up in days. Where shall I put this sack?
The sack? What's in it?
Freshly laundered wheat seed.
You mean you pulled out the wheat?
What kind of a fool do you think I am? Do you think I'd make the same stupid mistake twice? I only pulled up half.
Half?
Yes, I finally got this thing figured out. I'm going to plant half my acreage in wheat and half in corn. Then no matter what happens to the market, I'll be covered.
Oh, and now you want to exchange half of the wheat seed for corn.
That's right.
Well, all right. I got some corn seed right here in the bin.
Oh, are you sure they're good?
Well, they're the ones you brought back yesterday.
I don't want any second-hand seed.
But
Look, Mr. Kimball, do you want my business? Don't forget I'm going to be farming around here for a long time.
Well, sure, yes. Mr. Granby,
Well?
would you mind paying cash?
Well, now that I've got half the farm planted in wheat and half in corn, I'm through.
You're not going to change your mind.
I never changed my mind.
Just seeds.
Well, I'm glad you finally settled your problem. Poor Eb, I'm afraid he wouldn't be able to take much more of this. I bet he didn't go dancing tonight.
No. He went to the wrestling matches.
Well, I'm glad he's being sensible and resting.
He's not resting. He's wrestling.
Just forget, Ed. Janice, turn on the radio.
Are you sure you want me to?
Why not? Tonight I haven't got a thing to worry about. I don't care what's up, corn or wheat.
All right.
And hogs remained about the same. And on the Chicago Grain Exchange today, corn was down.
So what?
Wheat was down.
What?
Soybeans up.
Oh, my shoulder.
But, John, yesterday it was your back.
Well, you use different muscles planting soybeans.
How's Eb tonight?
He went out again.
He did?
Oh, my goodness. Where'd he go? Square dancing?
No.
Charleston?
No.
Wrestling?
No.
Then where did he go?
To a chiropractor.
I knew the old fool was overdoing it. You two thought I couldn't take it. At least I didn't have to go to any chiropractor.
The chiropractor's his cousin. He's playing tennis with him.
Oh, my shoulder.
I don't suppose you want to listen to the market reports tonight, do you, John?
Why, of course I do. Turn on the radio, Janice.
Okay.
I don't care what's up tonight. Corn, wheat, or soybeans. I've got 'em all.
We're about the same. And on the Chicago Grain Exchange today,
Eh?
corn was down.
Who cares?
Wheat down.
Good old soybean.
Soybeans down.
What? Oh, no. What's up?
Red Warbus. Yes, Red Warbus hit a 10-year high today.
Oh, my goodness.
John, what's the matter?
Didn't you hear that? Red Warbus hit a 10-year high.
Dad, what in the world are red warbus?
We'll rejoin John Granby of Granby's Green Acres after this brief message. Ladies and gentlemen, the highest standard of living, highest wages, and the shortest hours. All this plus the time-honored guarantee of individual freedom. Where else would you find all these advantages but under our American economic system? It has brought more benefits to more people than any other system ever devised. Now back to Mr. John Granby.
Oh, John Granby had a farm.
Dad.
Oh, yes, Janet?
This kerosene lamp is ruining my eyes. When are you going to have electricity put into this place?
We don't need electricity.
But, John, we've got all those electrical appliances we brought from the city. It would make housework so much easier.
Yes. And it would make farm work easier, too, Dad. Why, you could buy an electric milking machine. With a milking machine, there'd be no more to milking a cow than pressing a button.
Pressing a button? Is that the way it's done, John?
Yes.
Well, that's funny. I always thought you had to pull something.
Good night, Martha.
Good night, John.
You have just heard Granby's Green Acres starring Gail Gordon with Bea Benaderet, Louise Erickson, and Parley Bear. Tune in next week when Mr. Granby discovers electricity. Granby's Green Acres was written by Jay Sommers and Jack Harvey and was directed by Jay Sommers. Music was composed and conducted by Opie Cates. This is Bob Lamont speaking. Now stay tuned for Leave It to Joan, which follows immediately on most of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, where Mystery Theater fascinates you on Tuesday night. The Columbia Broadcasting System.
There's no mister, it's just Higgins, sir.
The National Broadcasting Company presents the second in a new comedy series, It's Higgins, Sir, created and transcribed by Paul Harrison and starring Harry McNaughton as Higgins. I bequeath my entire Queen Anne silver service to Philip Roberts, that the silver service and Higgins shall be inseparable, and that both must be kept by Philip Roberts or neither. Yes, this will, dictated by the late Sir Philip Robertson of Great Britain, was the reason we find our friends the Roberts with a very English butler. And the Roberts, in turn, find themselves bewildered. And in the morning, no one can be as bewildered as Mr. Roberts.
Philip, wake up. Philip, wake up. There's someone at the bedroom door. Philip, please.
Oh, Elizabeth, be quiet. I'm sleeping.
There's someone at the door and you've got to get up.
I don't hear anything.
Well, I do.
Then you answer.
I can't. I don't have any slippers.
Yes, you do. I tripped over them getting in bed.
You threw them at a cat last night.
Yep. Oh, all right, I'll answer it. It's the middle of the night. Go away. It's the middle of the night.
Good morning, sir. It's 8 o'clock, Mr. Roberts. Your tea, sir.
My what?
If you'll open your eyes, sir, it's tea. Your before breakfast tea, sir.
I never drink before breakfast tea before breakfast.
Bring the tea in, Phil. It might be nice to have tea before we get out of bed.
Very good, madam. Shall I bring the tray in?
Oh, no, oh, you can't come in here. I'm...
She's barefooted. I'll take the tray in.
Very good, sir. Be careful, sir.
Don't be silly. I'm as steady as a rock.
Undoubtedly, yes. But wouldn't it be easier if you opened your eyes, sir?
Never mind. Just turn me around and aim me.
If you say so, sir. Breakfast will be served at 8:30.
What a lovely idea, having tea in bed. Put the tray right there, dear. That's right. Now I'll pour.
Do you realize I've been deprived of a half hour's sleep?
Here, try your tea, dear. It might make you feel better.
Tea? Make me feel better? I can't even keep my eyes open. I wonder how it is as an eye wash.
Stop grumbling and try it.
All right. Just to please you, It's boiling hot.
Your eyes are open now, dear.
Well, now I've had my whole breakfast. Tea and boiled tongue.
Good heavens, the enemy enters the gates.
Morning, Miss Briggs. What are we having for breakfast?
I am Higgins. No one could possibly mistake me for a woman.
Gee, I'm sorry you're wearing her apron and cap, and she always cooks the meals.
Miss Briggs has the day off. Apparently, she's going to take a music lesson.
Music lesson?
Yes, she said she was going on a toot.
And what's that you're cooking for breakfast?
Kippers.
Kippers? What are kippers?
Kippered herring, a fish commonly eaten for breakfast.
Fish for breakfast? Oh, no.
Master Thomas, may I remind you that the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
You're making that old fish into a pudding?
Master Thomas, I am very familiar with the Roberts family tree. I, for one, would not want to be the first to tie the family sapling into a pretzel.
Boy, the way that stuff smells. It's just like the time Pop had a campfire going and I stuck an old sneaker in it.
Young man, I understand you're a Boy Scout. I suggest you retire from the kitchen unless you hold a merit badge for handling dynamite.
Okay, I'll go. But what I'm smelling, I ain't eating.
Good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Briggsy.
Oh, no. Must I go through this again?
Oh, pardon me. I'm dreadfully sorry, Higgins.
Oh, it's quite all right, Miss Deborah.
What's that you're cooking? You know, it smells just like the time Tommy...
I know. It reminds you of sneakers in a campfire.
How did you know?
Oh, we cook sneakers in England all the time.
Oh. What are you cooking?
Kippers.
Kippers? Oh, yes, of course, kippers.
Kippers, yes.
I just love them with plenty of jam. Excuse me.
Kippers with jam, revolting.
Good morning, Briggsy. Good heavens, it's Higgins.
Say, how come you're wearing that silly-looking apron and dust cap?
I always wear these when I cook sneakers.
Good morning, everyone. Who's burning sneakers in the kitchen?
Breakfast will be served immediately in the sneakers. I mean in the dining room.
All right, Higgins. Come on, everyone.
Yes, come on.
Whose feet
Sit down.
step on?
Quiet.
Mother, look at the sideboard. All the food's over there.
Yeah, nothing on the table.
Oh, I understand. How very English of Higgins.
What?
He's serving breakfast buffet style.
You mean we all gotta eat standing up?
This is too much. First he wakes me up a half an hour early, then he burns my tongue, and now I've got to eat standing up.
I'll serve you, dear. Now you just sit right there and relax. Oh, my. These things look delicious. There you are, dear.
All right. That's the sugar and cream.
Sugar and cream?
Certainly, I've been using them for years. I don't eat my cereal dry.
Philip, you better open your eyes.
Don't be silly. My eyes are open. What is this right here on my plate?
Kippered herring, dear.
Kippered herring? For breakfast?
You're just lucky you didn't make a pudding out of them.
Take it away, dear. Far, far away.
Yes, I better. But there are lots of other nice things.
I wonder how they do taste with jam.
Here you are, Philip. Try this. Don't they smell delicious?
They smell like... They're kidneys.
Kidneys? Kidneys?
Holy mackerel.
Mackerel, sir? I didn't realize you fancied mackerel. We'll have that tomorrow morning, sir.
Kidneys? Take them away, far, far away, and hurry.
Very well, I shall withdraw my kippers and kidneys.
Just bring me some corn crunchies, the cereal that flips, flaps, and flops.
Flips, flaps, and flops. Noisy little things, aren't they? I should think that kippers would be much more pleasant in the morning, sir. They're very quiet. They just lie there.
I'll try some of the kippers, Higgins. They look lovely.
Those kidneys sure don't.
Tommy, please. I'm getting a little queasy. I think I'm seasick.
Oh, really, sir? I have just the remedy for that, sir. On my trip over on the Queen Elizabeth, I was a little bit shaky. I was quite seasick.
Well, what's the remedy? And make it quick.
Yes, sir. I can highly recommend a large pony of brandy with a raw oyster in it.
That did it. I have a feeling it's time for me to leave, but fast.
Oh, it's Mr. Marshall, Daddy.
Shall I answer the door, sir?
No. It's quite all right, Higgins. He drives me to work. This week, that is. I drove him last week.
I see, sir. Your hat and coat, sir.
Thank you, Higgins, for everything.
You're entirely welcome, sir.
Goodbye, dear.
Bye, Dad. See you later.
Where's my briefcase?
Higgins carried it out to the car.
Oh, no. That's the last straw. I didn't want Ed to see Higgins. Oh. Right.
Morning, Phil. Have I got another customer this morning?
Morning, Ed. This is.
Hi, buddy. My name's Marshall.
Mine is Higgins, sir.
Well, hop in, Higgins. I'm late.
No, Ed. You don't understand. Higgins can't go with us. He's my...
Bill's always like this in the morning. Hop in, Higgins.
Thank you, sir. But I'm Higgins, the butler.
Oh.
Goodbye, Mr. Roberts.
Butler?
Well, it's a long story.
Butler? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, da, da.
Now, there's no need to make an issue of this. It's all very simple. I had a very, very distant relative in England who left me the butler along with the silver servant.
Never mind the excuses, Phil, old boy. I've known you a long time. Tell me, does he tie your shoelaces for you?
No, I can do that for myself.
Oh, you great big strong boy. He even carried your briefcase to the car. Oh, brother, no wonder you can't play golf. Say, maybe you could get Higgins to carry you around the course piggyback. See what I mean?
I play a pretty good game of golf.
Sure. Have you ever beat me?
Well, you've been pretty lucky. I've come close, but
See what I mean? I exercise. I take care of myself. Physical condition, that's a ticket. Why, Philsy, you won't believe this, but I brush my own teeth. And your poor son, Tommy. Now he won't have a chance at all.
Now, you listen, Ed. Tommy's all boy, and don't you forget it. He's strong and tough, and he can take care of himself.
Sure. Then how come my Eddie can chin himself more times than Tommy?
Well, Eddie can get his chin over the bar easier.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, it's just easier. With a receding chin like your Eddie's.
Oh, yeah? Well, what about that wrestling match Eddie won? Said Tommy was a pushover.
Okay, you win.
Say, I'm still hungry. Let's stop somewhere for a cup of coffee and a donut.
Oh, please. Please don't mention food to me.
What do you mean? You're always ready to eat, anytime.
Well, this morning my breakfast was... let me tell you about my breakfast.
The butler, eh? I suppose he can whip up quite a meal.
Higgins is a jewel. He served us a real English breakfast. First there was a lovely steaming platter of kippered herring.
Kippered herring? Fish? For breakfast?
What an aroma, Ed. Like sneakers. I mean, what a lovely smell of smoked fish permeated the entire house.
I'm not sure I want to hear about it.
Oh, but I insist. Now, after the kippers came the real pièce de résistance. A platter heaped with kidneys.
Kidneys? Oh, Phil.
Kidneys a la Sir Robertson, covered with a rich brown sauce. You ought to try them with jam. Debbie does. Oh, what an aroma.
Phil, please.
What I especially liked was the finishing touch. A large pony of brandy with a great big raw oyster floating in it.
You drive?
Oh, dear. Oh, Higgins, you move about so quietly. Perhaps you should whistle as you move about the house, so you won't startle me.
Whistle, madam? I can't even produce a medium-sized pucker.
Oh, that's too bad.
No Englishman can whistle.
Why not?
Stiff upper lip. Your morning mail, madam.
Oh, thank you, Higgins.
Would you care for a cup of tea whilst perusing the mail?
Tea? Oh, yes, that would be nice, thank you. You'll find the tea bags in the left-hand kitchen cabinet.
Tea bags?
Yes, those little bags with tea in them.
Madam, I've made tea all my life. My father made tea all his life. My grandfather made tea all his life. During those 3 generations, not one of us has ever made tea from a gunny sack.
Oh, well, make it your own way. Personally, I think it's much better tea.
Of course, madam. It's obvious you're a very discerning woman. Is someone hissing me?
It's me, Higgins.
It is I.
I know it's you.
Miss Nancy, why are you whispering?
Higgins, I want to talk to you about Pudgy.
Pudgy? Oh, Pudgy, yes, the young man who called last week. The one with the porcupine hair, who stands with his mouth wide open with his wide fish eyes staring.
Pudgy and I have an understanding.
Oh, good. Then he won't be coming around anymore.
The understanding is that we go steady.
Go steady? My word, has he been wobbling?
No. All it means is that we're going to go with each other on dates and things. Now, if he calls this afternoon,
yes,
tell him I'm out and won't be home until dinner time.
Very good, miss. I shall keep his calling card.
Calling card? Pudgy doesn't have a calling card.
But last week when he called, he said he left it home.
He only said that because you frightened him.
The feeling was exactly mutual. But I must say, in England, I have never announced anyone without a calling card.
Yes, maybe you're right, Higgins. Imagine Pudgy with calling card.
Oh, Higgins, there you are. Oh,
Yes.
never mind the tea now. I have to hurry downtown. Would you like to go, Nancy?
Yes, Mother, I would like to go. I just remembered a very important errand.
I wonder if you'd be good enough to get Tommy's lunch, Higgins.
Of course, madam.
Debbie is eating lunch at a friend's house, and yes, Tommy likes peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly?
Goodbye, Higgins. I'll be back in about an hour.
Very well, madam. Peanut butter and jelly. What a weird idea. I never realized one could milk a peanut. Master Thomas, one thing is certain. You'll never be a sneak thief.
Hey, what's for lunch?
You are to have peanut butter and jelly. Could you show me where the ingredients are?
Oh, sure. Peanut butter, jelly, bread, milk.
Ooh, jeepers. Jeepers go in the sandwich, too?
No, I jammed the drawer on my fingers. That's why the jeepers.
Oh, I see. It's something you put on an injured finger.
No, jeepers is something you say.
Jeepers is something you say.
Hey, don't forget the jelly.
How could I? I should think this mixture would seal the mouth permanently.
Tastes great.
You see, you go roll that. My word, you're speaking with a British accent. Milk, you said? There you are, Master Thomas. Shall I prepare another of these?
No, thanks. I'm not hungry.
My word, are you ill?
No, I ain't hungry.
I'm not hungry.
You got worries, too?
Worries. Oh, I see. So that accounts for the languishing appetite. Worries.
Well, there's a dance tonight, and I gotta go. Mom says so.
Yeah?
Then this girl she acts like a girl.
Are you saying some young lady refused your invitation to a dance? Well, tell me, Master Thomas, what were you wearing when you approached the young lady?
What I got on right now.
You were wearing that? That perspiration shirt?
What's wrong with my sweatshirt?
Oh, it's devastating. Has it ever been washed?
Sure. Last November when I had the measles. Mom sneaked it out of the room while I was delirious.
She was a cad, wasn't she? Master Thomas, are you serious about wanting this particular young lady to attend the dance with you?
Yeah, I guess so.
In that case, I have reason to believe I can be of some service to you. If you'll follow my advice, I believe she'll agree to go with you.
You could do that? Boy.
We'll start with the hair, then a bath, and fresh clothes. Perhaps you'll memorize a bit of Byron. Poetry simply slays them.
Poetry? Me?
I said there was only one way. When I'm through with you, you'll be a perfect gentleman.
Jeepers, a gentleman. Can I wear my sweatshirt?
Absolutely not. You may, however, keep it as a sentimental souvenir. Stand it up in the corner over there.
Yes?
How do you do, Miss Jean?
Well, gee whiz, who are you?
I am Master Thomas Roberts.
Tommy, what happened to you?
Nothing. I'm just dressed up and I got a haircut. My butler gave it to me.
Your butler? Oh, gee whiz.
May I come in, Miss Jean?
Oh, sure. Miss Jean. Oh, jeepers. Do sit down, Tommy.
Thank you. Lovely day. Yes, indeed. Quite lovely.
It is?
I realize I'm quite bold, but you look positively ravishing. Especially the way your sweatshirt hangs down over your jeans.
Oh, thank you. You look ravishing, too. Without your sweatshirt.
I called to ask if you'd care to attend the dance with me this evening. Or are you otherwise engaged?
Me? Go with you? Oh, boy, sure.
You're gonna go with me?
Oh, boy, I'd be crazy not to.
Oh, jeepers. What do I do now?
Okay, yes, Ed. I'll play golf with you on Saturday. No, you don't need to give me a handicap. You know, if I lose 18 holes, 17 holes, we'll do...
Me, Daddy.
Nancy, what are you doing down here?
Daddy, I've got a very serious problem to discuss with you. It's actually a matter of life and death.
Life and death? Oh, this is serious.
Yes, if you don't give me the money, I'll just die. I'll simply die.
Money? Now, just how serious is your problem in dollars?
I need $1.98.
You call that serious? $1.98? Only $1.98. $1.98. Now, see here, Nancy, you can't afford to have such high-priced problems.
Daddy, am I your own flesh and blood or some stranger you never saw before?
Goodbye, stranger.
Oh.
All right, Nancy, here you are, honey. No questions asked. Is it Pudgy again?
Now, that isn't fair. I haven't paid Pudgy's way into the movies in 3 weeks.
You mean you've been going to the movies with Pudgy and he's been paying for it?
Yes, in a way.
In what way?
He got a job as an usher.
Oh, Elizabeth! Darling! It's Philzy, dear. Oh, Lizzie Wizzy!
May I take your hat and coat, sir?
Oh, yeah. Higgins, I sort of forgot you were in the house.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Philip, darling.
Excuse me, sir.
Well, how did it go today, dear?
In some ways, I had quite a trying day. I can't seem to get used to having Higgins around the house. He pussyfoots around and I can't hear him coming.
Perhaps I can persuade him to hang a bell around his neck.
That might help.
Then he could work and sell good humors at the same time.
Bill, you're just being silly. Having Higgins around the house is quite a serious problem to me. I don't know if I approve of it at all.
Don't forget the silver service, dear. If he goes, it goes.
Hello, Daddy.
Oh, hello, baby. Got all your problems straightened out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, watch out, Debbie, now. Don't!
What's the matter with you, Pop? You used to be able to catch me without falling down.
Well, you didn't used to jump so high.
Let me help you up, dear.
All right. Oh,
my goodness. Debbie, you left a footprint right on Daddy's car.
That's what I said. She jumped too high.
Good evening, everyone.
Why, good evening, Tommy. My, how nice you look.
Tommy? This is Tommy?
Me, Pop.
Are you sick?
No, Pop.
Good evening, Master Thomas.
Good evening, Higgins. Would you be good enough to lay out my blue serge suit and draw my bath?
Very good, Master Thomas.
What was that? Draw my bath, lay out my blue serge suit?
Oh, he acted like a perfect little gentleman for the first time in his life.
He acted like a little sissy.
Gee, Mommy, there must be something awfully wrong with him. He looked awfully pale.
That's because he's so clean, dear.
Oh, no, wait till Ed Marshall hears about this. Oh, murder.
My own little gentleman. I think he's lovely. Just lovely.
My own son is lovely. Oh, Tommy.
Beg pardon, sir, but Master Thomas wanted to be a gentleman. I merely helped him in every way I could.
You.
Higgins, if you're able to make a gentleman out of him, you'll have my eternal gratitude. You may stay with us for the rest of your life.
Thank you, madam.
No one is going to make a sissy out of my son. Higgins, you stabbed me in the back.
If you say so, sir. Another baked potato, sir?
No, thank you. But you might fill my water glass again. I'm considering drowning myself.
I'll have another baked potato, if you please, Higgins.
Certainly, Master Thomas.
If you please.
Whom are you taking to the dance tonight, Tommy?
Jean Marshall.
Jean Marshall. Oh, no, not Ed's daughter. Oh, no, Ed will be sure to know. He'll see you for himself.
Oh, Higgins,
Yes, Miss Nancy.
that will be Pudgy. I mean, Mr. Mervyn Armentrout. He called. Left this card.
I didn't hear him. Oh, how very nice. Now he has a calling card. Excuse me.
Pudgy has calling cards?
Of course. All gentlemen have calling cards.
Pudgy? With calling cards? What's happening to my little world?
Good evening, sir. Oh, yes, you're the young gentleman who called last week. This time I have your card. It reads Mervyn Armentrout, formerly known as Pudgy. That's you, isn't it? Now, see here, young man. Close your mouth and stop staring at me with those fish eyes. Oh, I say, Mr. Armentrout, come back here.
Oh, dear, Higgins has done it again. He's frightened Pudgy away.
Oh, Miss Nancy, I'm terribly sorry, but the young man seems to have done it again.
Say, Higgins, come here. You're quite familiar with calling cards, aren't you? How much would you say a couple of dozen cards would cost?
Couple of dozen cards, sir? Oh, I'd say, let's see now. 3 shillings and 6pence, couple of pounds. $1.98, sir, net.
That figures. $10. Who's there?
It's me, Pop.
Why are you sneaking upstairs? Oh. Oh, my, your face, your suit, your eye.
I didn't want Mom to know I was in a fight. Is she up?
She's out in the kitchen. In a fight, huh? Naturally, you lost.
I did not. I won.
Huh?
Eddie Marshall's in a mess.
You whipped Eddie Marshall?
Yeah, he's got 2 shiners, a bloody nose, a big bruise on his chin, and his brand new 2-piece suit is now an 8-piece suit.
Oh, it's lovely, lovely. What's that under your torn shirt?
Oh, this. Well, that's my old sweatshirt. I wore it underneath.
Well, tell me how you whipped Eddie, son.
Well, he kind of got smart, so I put up my hands like this.
Wait a minute. I'll kneel down so you can show me.
Okay. So I threw the left hook, the one you taught me.
And that laid him out. I knew it would.
Oh, no, it was the right mystery corkscrew punch that Higgins showed me.
Higgins? I thought he was making a gentleman out of you.
Oh, yeah, but he said even in England, a kid what's a gentleman should know how to fight.
A mystery corkscrew punch, huh? Come on, show it to me now.
Okay, put him up.
Yeah.
Now, first I throw the left hook.
Yeah.
And then the mystery right.
Oh.
How was that, Pop? Oh, Pop, don't just lie there smiling at me. Get up.
Hey, sir, very good punch. I'm proud of your son.
You won't tell Mom.
Oh, I should say not. This is just between us men. Good night, son.
Good night, Pop.
Yeah.
Who was that, Philip?
Tommy. He just came in, went right to bed, pretty tired, I guess. You know, first dance and all that.
Well, isn't that amazing? That's the first time he's ever come in that quietly and well-behaved. Higgins has done a fine job with that boy.
Yes, he certainly has.
I'll go right up and kiss him goodnight.
Higgins might be a little shocked.
I meant Tommy.
Oh, well, don't turn on the light, dear. Tommy was pretty tired. Just sneak in the dark.
I'll do just that. What a sweet thought.
Yes, you have no idea.
Is there anything further before I retire, sir?
Higgins, I've maligned you, and I apologize.
As you wish, sir.
Furthermore, I'm very happy with you. As a matter of fact, Higgins, you're a lollapalooza.
If you say so, sir.
This has been It's Higgins, Sir, the second in a new comedy series starring Harry McNaughton with Vinton Hayworth and Peggy Allenby as Mr. and Mrs. Roberts. It's Higgins, Sir was directed and transcribed by Paul Harrison and written by Paul Harrison and Rick Bullets.
It's Higgins, sir, came to you from our Radio City studios in New York. Join Jack Pearl and Mimi Benzel next on NBC.
Cabin B-13. My name is Fabian, ship surgeon of the luxury liner Mauravania. Tonight, as we lie alongside the docks at the great port of Southampton, the ship is ghostly, deserted. Our passengers on this world cruise have gone to London. And as I sit here in my cabin, B-13, I'm reminded how the tides and storms of 1,000 voyages have wrought nothing more strange, more sinister than man's desire for adventure in the strange ports and lands we touch. I remember Bill and Brenda Leslie. It was years ago before the war, and the effect on their characters of the mortal terror that overtook them in London. CBS brings you John Dixon Carr's famous Dr. Fabian, ship surgeon, world traveler, and host in Cabin B-13 for strange and incredible tales of mystery and murder, directed by John Dietz. London and Hampden's Hotel in Norfolk Street off the Strand. A quiet little street sloping down to the river. Quiet little hotel. So dingy with its stuffiness of old carpets and yesterday's tea trays that you'd never suspect how fashionable it is or how expensive. Can't you hear the lift whining as its two latest arrivals, the husband American, the wife English, go swaying up to a bumpy stop?
This way, sir.
Come on, Brenda.
Will there be anything else, sir?
That's all, thanks. Oh, wait a minute. Here.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Bill, darling, please don't look so bewildered.
Was I looking bewildered?
I know the furniture's red plush and dates back to the 1860s. I know we can't get a private bathroom.
By George, the waiters look as old as the furniture.
But if only we'd gone to Claridge's or the Savoy or any one of a dozen places I suggested.
But, darling, you don't understand.
No?
Who the devil wants to go to Claridge's or the Savoy? This is London.
Oh, Bill, I'm afraid I still don't understand.
I've been in the diplomatic service for 7 years. I've been stationed in 3 capitals. But I've never been here.
It's a lovely old town. Oh, it's home.
It's home to me, too, in a way. It's put a spell on my imagination ever since I was a boy so high. Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Fu Manchu, hansom cabs rattling through the fog.
Darling, you don't think we still ride about in hansoms.
No, but it's the spirit of the thing. Here, look out of this window.
Yes?
Gray and black buildings. Twilight coming down. And yes, look down there.
Where? I don't see anything.
It's one of your famous barrel organs. Here, let's have the window up. It's under our windows, Brenda. What's the tune, dear? Do you know it?
Oh, something about she was a lassie from Lancashire. It's a very old one.
But it's right, don't you see? Everything's right. And if I crane out of the window sideways like this, I can see down to the river. That's where the bodies fall off walls and the police launches go out.
Oh, Bill, please listen to me.
Yeah?
Put your arms around me. Look down at me. There.
I have a funny face. I admit I have a funny face.
I love you terribly, Bill. I don't mean any words like very much or a lot. Just silly and terribly. But of all the romantic Americans I've ever met, you have the most absurd and fantastic ideas about England. You don't really expect to find Scotland Yard men in bowler hats trailing you every step. Now, do you?
That wasn't the point, Brenda. I only
When you
said
think
that...
about it, just remember the barrel organ. Safe, stodgy, comfortable. That's London, Bill. Will you remember?
Well, at least they've got telephones in this place. Hello?
Mr. William Leslie?
Yes, speaking.
This is the reception desk, Mr. Leslie. There's a man here who insists on seeing you. In fact, the man is on his way upstairs. He's a police officer.
What did you say?
A police officer, sir.
A police officer, huh? I see. He isn't by any chance from Scotland Yard?
Yes, sir. I thought you might like to know.
Did you hear that, Brenda?
Yes, I heard it, but surely...
About 6 hours in England.
Oh, this is ridiculous, Bill. There must be some mistake.
Well, there probably is. All the same, come to think of it, I don't feel very keen about facing one of these bowler hats in real life.
But why do they come to us? We haven't done anything.
Nothing I can think of. That's what worries me.
Get ready for the hat and the raincoat and the cropped mustache.
Yes?
Mr. Leslie? Mrs. Leslie?
That's right. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Sorry to have to trouble you, sir. I'm a police officer, Metropolitan CID. Here's my warrant card.
I see. Chief Inspector...
Radford, sir. And I'm bound to tell you I'm here about a pretty serious matter.
But we haven't done anything
Easy, Brenda, easy. Sit down, Inspector.
Thank you, sir. Now, don't mind my notebook. It's a mere formality. You and your wife arrived this morning by the Mauravania. Your wife is British and carries her own passport, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
A week from today, you leave by the same ship for Lisbon. At Lisbon, you take up a new diplomatic assignment at the American Embassy. Correct?
Yes,
just one moment. I'd like you to look at this snapshot I have here. Who is it?
But it's Bill. I mean, well, except for that awful shirt and tie. Well, it is Bill.
So help me, I never had that picture taken.
I know you didn't, Mr. Leslie. That's Flash Morgan. Ever hear of him?
Never. Is he wanted for something?
He's wanted for several murders. We won't mention bank robbery. Also, he's a ripper, if you know what that means. He uses a razor and likes it.
Me, the image of a famous murderer?
They don't look so different from the rest of us. Do you realize, sir, you can't leave this hotel without being nabbed as Morgan by the first copper you meet?
But I can prove who I am. I've got my papers.
You got your papers. Right. Suppose Morgan gets them.
Morgan?
The Mauravania sails a week from today. Somebody called William Leslie, carrying diplomatic immunity, sails with her. What's to prove it's really you?
You mean he might...
I do.
Oh, that's impossible. He couldn't get away with it.
No, I don't think he could, but I'll give you 10 to 1 he tries it. This is too small a country to hide in, and he can't get away. He's desperate. This is his last hope.
What about Brenda here?
There are several things that might happen to Mrs. Leslie. All unpleasant. There's just one more matter I'm bound to warn you of.
You've warned us, Inspector Radford. We appreciate it most awfully. What else could there be?
Morgan may try to get into this hotel.
Safe, stodgy, comfortable. I see what you mean, Brenda.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Oh, just a little joke between my wife and myself. It's getting chilly. Better close the window. Look here, Inspector. This, Ripper, or whatever he is, couldn't possibly know there's a man who looks just like him.
He couldn't, eh? Have you seen any evening paper?
No.
Some fool took a picture of you getting off the boat train. It's been published with comments on the resemblance. You'll find Morgan's story also with pictures on the front page. Here's the Standard. Read it.
But haven't you got any idea where this man is?
No, madam, we haven't. He used to have a hangout at 96 Fleet Street up over a barber's shop. But he won't go there now. He's loaded with money from the Whitehall bank job. He's got a razor. And he's ready to use it. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Inspector, wait. What do you want us to do?
I want you to stay in this hotel, both of you, until that boat sails.
Cooped up here for a week, just on a theory of yours?
Yes, Mr. Leslie. Just on a theory.
Suppose I do go out.
I can't stop you, sir. The guard I'm leaving here can't stop you. But I might send you some photographs of people with their throats cut. Sorry to have upset you. Good day.
any change yet in the purplish-white tinge of early evening. No street lamps alight. But a thin mist, white with late October chill, is creeping up from the river as Bill and Brenda Leslie still sit in the red plush room, staring at nothingness.
Brenda,
Yes, dear?
what was the number of that address Radford gave us, where Morgan used to hang out?
I don't remember.
96, wasn't it? 96 Fleet Street?
Why do you want to know?
Because I'm going there. And I'm going now.
Yes, I thought that was it. Bill, you can't. You mustn't. You can't do anything there.
I know.
Then why go at all?
Sweetheart, you know what our life is.
It's a wonderful life.
Oh, with you, yes, every minute of it. But the diplomatic service. Vous allez bien, Madame la Comtesse? I am sure, Signor, that the Rio Alta Bridge will be a great success. Who precedes whom at dinner? Does the envoy's wife eat artichokes? Look, Brenda, suppose I captured Morgan before the police do.
Bill, are you absolutely mad?
No, darling. Once or twice in every man's life, something taps him on the shoulder and says, come on, I dare you. Mostly we turn away and pretend we don't notice. But not this time. I'm taking the dare.
Bill, come back here. You're not to go.
Where's my overcoat? I've got it. Now, this address...
If you go, I'm going with you.
Oh, no. This isn't a woman's kind of dare, and you know it.
It's as much my dare as it is yours.
96 Fleet Street, up over a barber shop. How do I get there? If you don't tell me, Brenda, I can easily find out.
Oh. Well, as a matter of fact, it's not very far from here. You could walk it in 10 minutes.
That's better. That's much better.
What about your identification papers?
I'm throwing them out here on the bed. Morgan won't get those.
But if you haven't got those papers, you won't be able to prove who you are.
I'll have to risk it, Brenda. See you later.
Bill, come back. If you had any reason for going there, I wouldn't mind. But it's idiotic. Oh, don't leave me. Please come back. Please. I'll be with you, Bill. I'll be with you if Morgan doesn't see me first.
Footsteps. Slow-moving footsteps. Footsteps on gritty pavement where, beyond Temple Bar, Fleet Street curves down into dimness. A dead street, hushed and shadowy, with St. Paul's like a gray cloud far ahead. Too late for office workers? Too early for newspaper offices. Let's be Leslie on the left-hand pavement. I can tell you, believe me, every half-thought that tumbles through his brain as he walks.
Can't see the numbers, that's the trouble. Fool stunt, I wish I hadn't tried it. Can't turn back now, seem afraid. What if something jumped out of one of these doorways?
He's a ripper, if you know what that means.
Are you absolutely mad?
Mustn't remember things like that. Fleet Street. Dr. Johnson, 18th century. No people around. A street lamp's lighted. Good thing. I'd walk a little faster. No harm in walking a little faster. There. Number 34. Even number side of the street, too. Can't be far off now. Mist rising and as cold as... Was that a policeman's helmet? Behind me, up against the sky. It doesn't matter. Police mean safety.
If you haven't got those papers, you won't be able to prove who you are.
Still doesn't matter. Nobody can see my face. Another policeman's helmet. Swear to it. Over in that alley. A little faster. Take it easy now. Don't run. They can't possibly...
You there! Stop! Wait a minute!
Mustn't get panicky. How do you stop panic? Got to find that address. Got to justify myself. Got to... Run! 96. Little entry. No door. Flight of steps. Easy on the jump now. Run up quiet as you can. Door with glass panel. Henry M. Jenkins, Bob. Door open and...
A large room, perhaps not too clean, with a cork floor giving back no sound. Facing you, a window. On your left, another door. On your right, a wall of mirrors with two white barber chairs. This is what Bill Leslie sees amid a gleam of mirrors and a thick odor of hair tonic. On a white stool sits a little old man with yellow-white hair and a reddish nose, peering up from a paper with Cockney friendliness.
Why, I beg your pardon. I didn't mean to crash in like this.
Not a bit of it, sir. Nobody here, sir. Glad to have you come up any way you like.
I've come about something important. I want a shave, please. And I'll just close this door.
A shave, sir? Very good, sir. If you'll just come over here. That's it. Your overcoat, sir. Allow me.
Oh, thanks.
And in this chair, please. Now, we'll just whip out the cloth, and round your neck it goes.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't tilt me backwards yet. Are you Mr. Jenkins?
Now, that, sir, is what I call a real honor.
What's so funny about it?
Sorry, sir, it's only a joke. My name is Jenkins, and that's a fact, but mostly the gentlemen call me Old Scratch.
Old Scratch?
Oh, not in a religious way. Lummy, I should hope not. With me, a chapel goer for 40 years, and a teetotaler so's me hand wouldn't shake. Excuse me, sir. Mix the lather. No, sir, it's only a joke. If they call me Old Scratch, or as it might be Old Nick, it's 'cause they know I won't nick 'em. Never miss with a razor, I don't. There now. Now we just tip the chair back. And I'll bet this lather I'm putting on is as comfortable as going home to tea and kippers on a night like this. It's remarkable, sir, how comfortable... Here, sir. What is it? What's wrong?
I was trying to signal you, that's all.
Hey?
Keep on lathering. Don't speak any louder than I do.
What is it, sir? What's up?
Flash Morgan has just come in.
Who?
Flash Morgan.
But there's nobody here but you and me. Lift your head up and look.
You didn't see him. You were looking at the shaving mug. I saw him come in by the door from the stairs when you moved the chair. You sure you don't know who Morgan is?
So help me, Harry, I don't.
He's a killer. Wanted by the police.
The police? Here now.
Finish with the lather. Then start shaving. But make it quick. Get a razor.
Yes, sir. But...
That's it.
Where's the bloke? Is he a blooming ghost?
He didn't look at either of us. He didn't make a sound. I saw him in the mirror. He bolted the glass-paneled door on the inside. Look over and see if it isn't bolted.
Yes, sir, it's bolted.
He walked to a door at the back of this room. Behind me. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Of course I can see it.
Where does that door lead? Upstairs?
No, sir. There's no upstairs on this side of the house.
But there's got to be. Morgan lived... or had some friends who...
Don't move your chin like that. Keep your head where I put it. If you was looking for 96 proper, you must have seen the numbers in a bad light.
Oh?
That's under the arch and round the back, like a lot of these old houses. This is 96B.
And where does the door lead?
Only to a cupboard, sir. A big cupboard. Somebody's hiding there now.
That's right. Morgan's there with his razor.
That's the end of the shave, sir. I trust it's satisfactory. Hot towel, sir.
Yes, thanks. Hot and steaming. Hang on to your nerve, Old Scratch. We'll get him in 2 minutes.
Towel satisfactory, sir. I'm a peaceful man, Governor. I don't want no trouble.
Now listen. When you take the towel off, go to the shelf under the mirrors and mess around with the bottles. Ask me if I'd like some kind of lotion. And edge toward the glass door. When you get near it, run like blazes and yell for the police. The whole neighborhood's full of cops. Morgan will come out fighting when he hears you run. I'll pick up that high stool and try to hold him off. The cops didn't find me because they went to the wrong 96.
That door behind you.
Well?
The knob's moving.
Then we'll have to do it when I count 3.
I can't, sir. I just ain't up to it.
You can run, can't you? 1, 2, 3.
Let her stay where you are, both of you.
Oh, well. What do I hear in Chief Inspector Radford?
You do? Sorry to break the glass door, old Scratch, but it seemed to be bolted on the inside. Yes, it is. In you go, boys. We may need several men here.
Well, Inspector, don't you recognize me? I'm Bill Leslie.
Yes, you probably are. Where's Morgan?
He's in that cupboard over there. I don't want to handle him. Have your men got guns?
We don't carry guns. Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Go over and guard that window. Davis, you stay here. I'll take the wasp out of his nest.
Right, sir.
Coming out, Morgan? No? All right, have it your own way. I'm turning the knob and... Lord almighty.
Find that blood, sir.
It's Morgan, all right. But he won't give any trouble now. His throat's been cut.
His throat's cut? But who?
Who? Curse it, Mr. Leslie. Why do you have to go and kill him?
There's a famous building on the Thames embankment. Once red brick with white trimming. Now smoke darkened, redolent of old stone. Inside it looks rather like a hospital, does New Scotland Yard. Not far away down the Misty River, there's a great clock. As 3 persons sit in a small official room.
Mr. Leslie, why don't you tell us the truth?
Inspector, I have told you the truth. So has old Scratch here.
Every word of it.
Let's face it, Mr. Leslie. You killed Morgan, and you don't seem to understand the law here.
How do you mean?
To kill a wanted man, even a murderer, is just as serious an offense as killing the Prime Minister. I can't help you if you say you didn't kill him. But I can get you off scot-free if you admit you did it in self-defense.
Look, Inspector. I never set eyes on Morgan except when he walked through that shop. Scratch never saw him at all. I never stirred out of the chair for 1 second. Scratch never left me. Never even took his hands off me for a second. Neither of us did it.
Then who killed Morgan?
I don't know.
The door was bolted on the inside. The window was locked. How could anyone get in?
I just don't know.
You don't think a ghost got in and killed him?
Well, what do you think happened?
I know what happened.
Oh?
Oh, yes. You rather thought you and Morgan would try to corner each other. You were both in Fleet Street within 20 yards of each other when those police whistles blew.
And you lost both of us. What happened in the meantime?
You and Morgan met at the barber's. There was a fight and you killed him unintentionally.
I killed him with what?
With his own razor. We found it in the cupboard. Then you bribed old Scratch to keep his mouth shut.
Here now, Inspector.
Easy, Scratch. Stop rocking back and forth.
I'd like to tangle up my hair and pull it out by the roots. I'd like to stand on the track with a engine coming. I'd like to... Lummy, ain't there any justice?
Morgan was loaded with money, carried 1,000 quid in an oilskin tobacco pouch. It wasn't on his body. If you gave it to Scratch and Scratch hid it in the confusion after we broke in...
You know, Inspector, I've been wrong about this whole thing.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, not the way you mean. I thought my big trouble would be to prove my identity. But you don't doubt my identity. Or do you?
I don't know. But officially, until your wife identifies you...
That's what I've been asking all night and you won't answer. Where is Brenda?
Well, sir, the fact
You
is...
haven't got her locked up somewhere.
No, of course not. The fact is, we can't find her.
Isn't she at the hotel?
No, your wife left the hotel just after you did.
Brenda left it. Where'd she go?
To 96 Fleet Street.
How do you know that?
The real entrance to 96 is at the back, up a flight of stairs past the barber's window. One of our men saw her there, then lost her.
You mean Morgan may have seen her before he came into the shop and attacked her?
Mr. Leslie, you're the one who's got to take it easy. Just sit down, gentle-like.
Do you see now why you've got to give up this crazy story that you didn't kill Morgan and that you and old Scratch were never out of each other's sight?
But it's true.
Don't you see what I want to know? Did Morgan kill your wife? I want to know whether there was any blood on the razor before you fought Morgan.
This, as they say in the nursery books, is an office. That's a filing cabinet. You're smoking a pipe. I've got to hold on to things because they're getting blurred. Blast you, I never fought Morgan.
Want to think it over for a while?
Brenda's dead. That's what you're saying. Don't start to object. That's what you're intimating. And if Brenda's dead, on the course of it...
Chief Inspector.
Sergeant, keep out of here. I told you not to...
Yes, sir, but I couldn't help it. She's here. She's been in the anteroom listening to every word you've said.
Who's here?
Mrs. Leslie. She says she wants to give herself up.
Bill!
Please stay where you are, Mrs. Leslie. You want to give yourself up?
No, not for murder. Oh, I'm so horribly frightened and mixed up. I don't know what I did say. But I had to talk to you. Because I saw the murder committed.
You saw it from where?
From outside the window, on the back stairs. Oh, Bill, darling, I got there before you did. You had to ask directions at the beginning. I saw you come in.
Into the barber shop?
Yes. But I think I'd have known what happened, even if I hadn't seen it.
Are you one of our women detectives, Mrs. Leslie?
Oh, please, Mr. Radford. It's because I am a woman that I'd have noticed. You're too used to it. Bill thinks that man you call Old Scratch was never out of his sight for a moment. But he's forgotten something.
Forgotten what?
You've forgotten there were 30 seconds when you had a hot towel over your face and eyes.
Sergeant, better grab our friend Scratch's arms quick.
Get away from me, please!
Got him safe, man.
Go on, Mrs. Leslie.
Well, he went to the cupboard. He opened the door only partly and slashed inside. He dropped the razor inside and came back with an oilskin pouch of money. He put the money under a trap in the cork floor. It took less than 30 seconds if you timed it.
It's a pity I ain't got another razor. Old Scratch never misses with a razor.
Better put the cuffs on him, Sergeant.
You see, I already guessed he was an accomplice of Morgan's.
You what?
Oh, Bill, you're so adventurous you won't use common sense. He was reading an evening paper with pictures of Morgan and you too. But he said he'd never heard of Morgan. You spoke first, so he knew you were the American. And he saw a way of killing his partner Morgan for the money. If he just dropped that razor in the cupboard, the police would think it belonged to Morgan, wouldn't they?
I'm afraid they would.
Only I'm an awful coward. I was so paralyzed I couldn't even scream. Somebody chased me. Maybe it was the police. And I fainted in some old woman's room. Oh, Inspector, may I go to my husband now?
You may, Mrs. Leslie, with the apologies of the CID.
Bill, please take me away from London before your sense of adventure starts again. I don't understand these detective stories.
And so, in rather a pleasant vein, I end my story of the husband who sought trouble and the wife who got him out of it. And as I, Dr. Fabian, ship's surgeon of the Mauravania, sit here in my cabin, B-13, remembering this story, I wonder what other memories of strange and sinister happenings will come back as we touch at the other ports of our world cruise. I hope to greet you again next week in cabin B-13.
Next week, as the Mauravania docks at Cherbourg, Dr. Fabian will bring you from his cabin, B-13, a story in which he himself plays a small part. A tale with not quite so pleasant an ending as tonight's. A strange adventure which he calls The Man Who Couldn't Be Photographed. Cabin B-13 is created and written by John Dixon Carr, outstanding mystery novelist in both England and America, who is also famous as Carter Dixon. These Dr. Fabian stories are all newly written for you by Mr. Carr and have not appeared before on the air or in printed form. Dr. Fabian is played by Arnold Moss, and on tonight's drama, Joseph Curtin played Bill Leslie, with Naomi Campbell as Brenda and William Podmore as Jenkins. The music is composed and conducted by Merle Kendrick. Cabin B-13 is edited by Charles S. Monroe, and the productions are directed by John Dietz. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Pat Novak, for hire.
Pat Novak for hire. That's what the sign outside my office says. Pat Novak for hire. Or you can set it to music or put it up in neon. But down here on the waterfront in San Francisco, you're too busy staying alive to worry about the next guy unless he's pointing a gun. Most of the time, you got as much chance as a fly-papered fly on his solo flight. But it works out. Oh, I rent boats and do anything else to keep my stomach and my conscience running even. It's like juggling hot marbles on a high wire, but it's a living, and you haven't any more kick coming than a swimmer diving into an empty pool. I found that out last Tuesday night. I was sitting in my office after dinner, watching the fog stream through the gate and wrap up the bay for the night. Up on Russian Hill, the lights were just going on in the $1,000 a month apartments, and right away you got a picture of warm rooms and cold martinis. I guess I was feeling sorry for myself, so I started to page through an old address book full of bad debts and tired memories. I was getting older by the page, and the regrets were piling up around my knees when the phone rang. Novak talking.
This is Father Leahy, Patsy. Are you busy?
Yeah, Father. Tearing up old phone numbers.
Are you reforming or angry?
Neither one, Father. They just wore out.
You sound sad, Patsy. Expect them to last forever?
Nothing's that good. What's on your mind?
I want to ask you a favor.
Make it a small one, Father. I'm all out of big ones.
It's a small one, Patsy, for you.
Yeah, another customer told me the same thing, Father. His brother was on the way to the chair. He wanted me to smuggle in some rubber underwear.
I'm asking, Patsy, not begging.
Okay, Father. What do you need?
Can you see me in about an hour, right after the evening rosary?
When's it over?
Oh, about 8:30. But don't be afraid of coming early.
No, I'll take a rain check on that, Father.
That's what Noah's friends used to say. I'll see you at 8:30.
It was a little before 8:30 when I started up the steps of Father Leahy's parish church. I figured the services were over, so I hung around in the vestibule for a couple of minutes, trying to look like a part-time bell ringer. The last few people straggled out, and then an altar boy came out and gave me the high sign. He was a clean, Irish-looking little kid with a face the size of a minute and just about as young.
Are you Mr. Novak, sir?
Yeah, that's right. You the lookout?
I'm an altar boy, Mr. Novak. My name's Jake Siegel. Little Jake, Father calls me.
Yeah. Well, where's Father Leahy now, Jake?
He's back in the sacristy, Mr. Novak. He wants you to wait inside here.
No, this'll do. I'll wait right here.
No, sir, Mr. Novak. I'm sorry. Father says to be sure and bring you inside.
Okay, little Jake, lead the way.
This way, Mr. Novak, down this aisle.
I guess I was too busy trying to act like I knew my way around to pay much attention to a fat, chunky little guy when he stood up in the back pew a couple of aisles over. Little Jake seemed to peg trouble in the air.
Mr. Novak, that man back there, what's he doing?
All right, Quinlan, here's your payoff. Turn around and take it.
Jake, get down.
Mr. Novak, look out, look out!
Down on the waterfront, you learn early to look for trouble, any place, any time. You can find it at the top of the mark or at the bottom of the bay, but this is the first time it caught up with me in the middle of a church. The lead got as thick as confetti on New Year's Eve. I spun around and I made a dive for little Jake, but I wasn't soon enough. He went down like young wheat in a hailstorm. When I grabbed for him, I must have hit my head in the base of a marble pillar or something, and things got dark for a minute. I stumbled down the aisle and into the street after the guy, but the odds were all on his side. The fog was so thick you couldn't read a newspaper with a Klieg light. I guess I covered every alley and street in the neighborhood, but it was like running after a hatful of feathers in the middle of a windstorm. Oh, I don't know how much later it was when I stopped for a minute in an empty doorway and I tried to remember what I was chasing. A siren was crying somewhere in the distance, so I started back for the church. The coroner's wagon was just pulling away when I got there, and Father Leahy had disappeared. I saw a light in the rectory, so I went upstairs and rang the bell. He came to the door in his shirt sleeves. He just stood there for a minute looking at me. Then he motioned me inside. You want to see me, Father?
Yes, in here. Sit down.
The kid, Father. Little Jake.
What do you think?
Yeah. They go fast?
Instantly.
I'll get the guy, Father.
I'm not asking that, Patsy. I'm not asking you for anything anymore, unless I need trouble.
No, somebody told you a bad story, Father. That wasn't my gun.
I should have known better than to call you. I should have known it meant trouble. It's your middle name, Patsy. You're married to it.
You're looking at the wrong man. It wasn't my party.
I called you here tonight to ask you a favor, Patsy.
Anything you want, Father.
It's too late now. We were going to have an altar boys picnic tomorrow over at Paradise Cove. I wanted to borrow one of your boats. We won't be going now, Patsy. We've got a funeral instead.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Don't say anything, Patsy. Just listen for a minute. I asked you to come up here tonight, but I didn't tell you to bring your friends. If you've got any private fights with those waterfront hoods, that's your business. But don't bring your beefs into the church.
And I tell you, I never saw the guy before. I don't know anything about it.
He was shooting at you when he hit little Jake, wasn't he? What else am I supposed to think?
Yeah. They find the murder gun?
Nothing your playmates are neat, Patsy.
I liked you better without the temper, Father.
And I liked you better before your hands got dirty, Patsy. I warned you about that waterfront crowd, the cheap thugs, the cheap women. I told you, Patsy, roll around in dirt long enough and some of it's bound to stick to you. You got it all over your face and your hands, and it's working inside you, Patsy. It's working in deep.
At the end of the sermon, Father?
I tried to warn you, but you had it figured. Well, figure this one, Patsy. There's a 9-year-old kid on his way to the morgue. He stepped in front of a bullet and saved your life. Now go ahead. Figure it.
Yeah, I will, Father. But you better be on call when I catch up with the guy. He's going to have a lot of praying to do. When I left Father Leahy, I checked in at the church for one more look around. A couple of red-faced Irish cops in uniform were wandering around the vestibule, trying to look at home and chewing gum like mad to kill the beer on their breath. And over in one corner, half a dozen old women had their heads together, clucking like hens over a square egg. Outside of them, the place was deserted. I gave the course a quick rundown. A couple of aisles over, where I figured the gunsel must have passed, I picked up a matchbook. The ad on the front said Max Joint, Cicero, Illinois. And there was a phone number scrawled inside the cover. I was just about ready to toss it away when a bell rang and I took a closer look. It was my phone number. I put the matchbook in my pocket and I started home for the apartment. Maybe the cab wasn't going fast enough because halfway there, 3 years' stock of headache caught up with me and the ceiling started to jump. Oh, the cab driver was kind, though. When we got to my place, he offered to help me as far as the curb for an extra 4 bits. By the time I made it to my front door, I was feeling lower than N-man at an Irish wake. The reception committee didn't help much. They were short and dark, all 3 of them, with rolls of loose, oily fat where their necks should have been, and small pig eyes that squinted through the cigar smoke rolling out of wide nostrils and up their faces.
Hiya, Novak. How do you feel?
Lots better after you find the door.
Hey, Dex. Novak don't like us. He'll cultivate a taste.
No, they don't build stomachs that strong.
Be nice. It's easier that way.
Now look, Buster, I don't know who you 3 pigs are, but
Novak. Remember, be nice.
Yeah, I'll remember.
You West Coast punks are all alike, Novak. Couple of taps and you cry. Ain't that right, Lud? Maybe Novak's tired, fellas. Help him into a chair.
Yeah, Novak. Sit down.
Lud wants to say something.
All right, then say it and get out of here.
We want the gun, Novak. We want the papers that go with it.
Sounds like a great puzzle. Sorry, I can't help with the answer.
You better tell Lud, Novak. It's liable to get rough.
All right. My gun's over there in the desk and the paper's on the wall.
Be nice, Novak.
Just once more, Novak. Where's the gun and where's the papers?
Look, I'll spell it for you. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Dex, Mac, get his arm.
Yeah.
All right, hold his head up.
Yeah. Okay, Lud, there.
This the way they do it in Cicero?
Last time round, Novak. The gun and the papers, where are they?
I don't know.
The gun, Novak. The papers. No use, boss. We lost him. All right. It's a big flaw. Let him find his own way back.
Well, it was a long night for summer. When I woke up, the sun was bleeding through a rip in the blinds, and there was a funny smell in the room. My stomach felt like a piece of practice rope at a Boy Scout class. And then the room got noisy.
You wake up slow, Novak. Have a hard night?
Oh, you're never on time for the party, are you, Hellman?
I'm choosy, Novak. I don't like your friends.
All right, then take up social work. What's the occasion?
I got a phone tip. Thought I'd drop up for a visit.
You having fun?
Yeah. There's a gal in the kitchen bored to death.
Huh?
Take a look.
She took it hard. Who is she?
Sally Kimbrough. That's what her driver's license says. She a friend of yours?
How would I know? Even her mother couldn't tell.
Messed up, isn't she, Novak? Must have been a rough party.
I wouldn't know, Hellman. I closed early.
At your joint, what happened?
I said I closed early. 3 Gunsels were drinking my scotch when I got home about 10:30. They were anxious about a gun and some papers, and they figured I could put them straight. I couldn't, so they laid me out. Now tell me how sorry you are.
I bleed for you, Novak. Now let's have it straight.
That's as straight as you're going to get it, Hellman. If it's not exciting enough, try Esquire.
You talk brave for a punk in hot water.
I'm not going to scream till it burns.
Then you better start practicing, Novak, because I'm going to burn you.
You better hurry, Hellman. Your pension's catching up with you.
Watch your mouth, Novak. You're not talking to your Gunsel friends.
Now, that's hard to tell, Hellman. You both use the same technique. Now, show me the warrant before I start charging your rent.
That dame's body is all the warrant I need, Novak. Now talk. How did she get so dead?
I told you once. Pick up the 3 Gunsels and ask them.
What they look like?
Like you. The size smaller. They're from the east, around Chicago.
What else?
They wouldn't leave their birth certificate.
Go ahead, smart boy. Get in all the laughs you can. But don't ask me to con the parole board for you.
No, I don't know, Hellman. You won't be there. Maybe I'll like prison life. When you're knee-deep in the rain and your boots spring a leak, you might as well throw them away and take your chances barefoot. Hellman and his boys left with the body, and I grabbed a handful of aspirin and a cold shower. Then I started out to look for the only honest guy I know, an ex-doctor and a boozer by the name of Jocko Madigan. A pretty smart man until he found out you can poison your worries at $4 a fifth. I finally found him sitting in the middle of a bourbon fog in a little Spanish joint somewhere on the edge of the Excelsior district. He was down at the end of the bar trying his best to make time with a plaster bust of Queen Isabella.
Pepsi, you're just in time for a short one. Bartender, hand me that vase.
Come on, Jocko, sober up. I got to talk to you.
Patsy, here's to your own peculiar brand of happiness.
Jocko, will you cut it out?
Patsy, I don't mean to be rude or ungentlemanly, but I don't think I altogether approve of the clientele in this place.
Yeah.
Shh, this woman next to me, Patsy, the one with the stony gaze, she's been here ever since I came in. And I don't mean to be uncharitable, but I think she's the picture of a perfect boy.
All right.
Patsy, to a member of the old Castilian school, there can be no excuse for the conduct she's exhibited. Why, do you know I was even good enough to buy her 3 rounds of Portuguese brandy, imported, mind you. But what do I get for my pains? Not even a civil thank you.
All right, Jocko.
I've been sitting here in the most gentlemanly way, sipping this delicate nectar in great mouthfuls and trying to keep the party going. But does she help? No. I've talked to her about politics, medicine, literature, Keats, Byron, Shelley, Nick Kenny. Well, I've even talked about the weather.
Jocko, she's a statue.
She's a simple oversight, Patsy. Might happen to anyone.
Listen a minute, will you? I'm in trouble.
You're always in trouble, Patsy, and that's the way you'll stay till you find some kind of moral rudder. You've got to find direction instead of trying to be so righteous in an evil sort of way. Get in tune with our decaying civilization. Like me, Patsy. Why tempt the fates? It's much more practical to buy off your destiny with a good 5th of Irish whiskey.
You all through, Jocko?
Yes. What kind of trouble this time?
3 Gunsels from the east. They're shooting up the town, and I'm running front for their murder raps.
Patsy, why not plead guilty? The rest might do you good.
Somebody shot a 9-year-old kid, an altar boy.
Oh. Where did that happen?
In Father Leahy's church. The Gunsel took me for somebody else and started shooting.
Problem's getting bigger, Patsy. What am I supposed to do?
I want you to check on a guy by the name of Mike Quinlan. Also a girl, Sally Kimbrough. Tag by the Examiner and the Chronicle morgues and nose around the horse parlors out on Eddy Street, will you? Find out everything you can.
Well, all right, Patsy, but you've broken up a beautiful party. You've disillusioned me about Queen Isabella here, and I've suddenly grown dreadfully thirsty again. Let's have 4 or 5 for the road, shall we?
Later, Jocko. We haven't got time.
Well, only if you say so, Patsy. But every time I leave the hallowed confines of a barroom, I'm a poor pilgrim caught up in the vices of the crass everyday world. A tattered orphan leaning disconsolately against the bitter winds of chance, tossed and buffeted about endlessly by the cruel storms of fortune. By the way, I'll need car fare.
All right, here, $50.
But, Patsy, refreshment.
Later. Now get going, will you, Jocko?
Where can I find you?
I'm going to check by my office, then I'm going to see Father Leahy.
Well, as soon as he mentions taking the pledge, that's your cue to leave. Good night, lover.
When I left Jocko, I caught a cab downtown, and on the way, I started hunting for just a piece of the answer. But all I got was questions. Who were the 3 Gunsels, and what was the stuff they were after? Mike Quinlan, where did he fit in? And that dead girl in my apartment, who did she belong to? Well, the zeros were piling up faster than flies on donuts when the cab pulled up for a stop sign at 16th and Mission, and a little guy with a worried mouth and a loud sports shirt jumped in. His lips were wound around a phony kind of smile like a head waiter just before he hands you the check for a big party.
It's okay, driver. We're friends.
How are you, Patsy? Friendship comes easy for you, mister. You got a name?
This is for keeps, Novak. I want to talk.
You got until the next corner.
We both mean it, Novak. Me and the gun.
Now, look, Junior, if you want to play the heavy, go find a melodrama.
Who you working for? Sandell?
That's as good a name as any. All right, here's your corner.
Sally Kimbrough. Where is she, Novak?
You're fast with a question, mister. Let me ask you one. Who's Sandell?
I got the gun, Novak.
Yeah, well, who's Sandell?
I'll do the asking. You sit there, make the answers.
Oh, you're running out of tickets, Junior. Come here. All right, now reach down for that gun and I'll jam you through the floorboards. Who's Sandell?
He's a Chicago hood. He's out to get me. He works both ways.
That's a good plot. Now, who are you?
Mike Quinlan. All right, now what about Sally Kimbrough?
They mopped her up off my kitchen floor this morning.
Somebody's gonna get Sandell.
Maybe we're on the same train. What's he look like?
Fat men all look alike.
All right, you can leave any time now.
Sure, Novak. Fare's getting higher. See you later.
Well, the whole thing went faster than a Mexican divorce. The black sedan pounded by on all 12, and Quinlan folded up like a playpen in a high wind. We tried to follow the car, but it would have been easier to win the Kentucky Derby on a pogo stick. So I went back to the corner where Quinlan was still hugging the cement. He was draped over the curb like a tired carpet, and if his suit was a brighter yellow, he could have passed for a loading zone. Hellman was there with all his relatives in uniform, so I told the cabbie to drive on. I just couldn't seem to shake the picture of little Jake when he went quiet in that church. Well, when I got close to a phone, I paid off the cabbie and I put in a call to Jocko. I called Newton at the Examiner morgue, and he said that Jocko had just left, so I called Breen's. I asked for the guy who was drinking the cheapest whiskey in the tallest glass.
Jocko Madigan speaking.
This is Novak. How'd you make out?
Let me tell you about these pack of newspaper men down here. Men of high birth, Patsy. True breeding. They like scotch almost as much as I do.
What'd you find out about Quinlan?
My Eddy Street informants tagged him as an ex-con, Patsy. Sent up for armed robbery in 1940 and paroled about 2 weeks ago from Joliet. Quinlan had a few dealings with a man named Lud Sandell. From what I can gather, Quinlan's supposed to have taken the rap for Sandell and his brother.
What else?
Quinlan is a local boy out of Bernal Heights. He has a sister, Patsy. She belongs to Sandell. She's probably the only salesgirl in town with a 6-room apartment in the best part of the marina.
Did you get the address?
Oh, the Bayview Towers, down at the foot of Fillmore Street.
Sounds good.
Maybe she has a friend.
Did you get anything else on Sandell?
The Turk Street set tells me he's out here to set up a slot machine route. I gather he's the pushy type.
Thanks, Jocko. I'll see you at the apartment.
Oh, Patsy, on your way home, pick up something for dinner at the delicatessen, will you?
There's stuff in the icebox. Fix yourself a sandwich.
Patsy, dinner without bourbon is life without hope. I'll borrow from the neighbors. Good night, lover.
When I hung up, I caught a D car out on Van Ness Avenue, and I headed down into the marina. The answer box was still fat with questions, and little Jake's killer held a 4-lap lead, but at least the field was getting thin. I figured it was 1 out of 3. Sandell or either one of his gunsels, but which one? But when I got down to the foot of Fillmore Street, the fog was thicker than ankles at a fat ladies' convention, and foghorns out beyond Yacht Harbor started on overtime. The Bayview Towers was one of those swanky, new-looking places that gets old in a hurry. It saw lots of brass and brunettes during the war, but now the only uniform left belonged to the doorman. I found Quinlan's sister in the penthouse apartment. And when she opened the door, you felt like Clyde Beatty with a broken chair. Her lounging pajamas reminded you of a good butler. They came in and went out at the right places, and they stayed close to the job. I felt like the Fisk boy after somebody blew out his candle.
Ah, talent on the loose. Won't you come in?
Yeah, it'll save time. My name's Novak. I got some news for you.
I'm Bobby Quinlan. Don't go so fast.
I'm looking for answers, lady. If you want a companion, advertise. Your brother's dead. Sandell shot him.
My, such a big imagination, Mr. Novak. Why don't you relax? Here.
Look, I got proof in my pocket, baby. You want the rest of this couch now?
I've been lonesome, Novak.
It's going to get worse with your brother gone. Take a look at the paper.
Later, Patsy.
Where have you been practicing?
You're getting weak, Patsy. I can feel your heart pounding.
Yeah, now let's quiet down and talk murder,
Patsy,
shall we?
You're hurting. You're hurting me.
Where's Sandell?
Please, Patsy.
Where's Sandell? Where is he?
Patsy, my arm. You'll break it.
I'll tear it off and throw it away. Now, where's Sandell?
I don't know. I swear I don't.
He killed your brother. He shot him down on the street.
It's a bum joke, Novak.
All right, if you won't believe me, take a look at this chronicle. Right there on the front page.
You're lying, Novak.
Look at it.
No. Sandell promised. Promised he wouldn't touch Mike.
Why complain? Think how Mike feels. Now, where's Sandell?
He's down at the hotel. The Durban Arms on Eddy Street. He lied to me, Novak. I played it straight, but he lied to me.
Yeah, you're a mistake, baby. I'll see you later.
Don't leave, Novak. Body's just died.
Dex, why'd you do it? You lied. You and Sandell, you promised me. And you killed him.
Timorous, sweetheart. Somebody had to go.
Like that altar boy, huh?
Got it once, Novak. It's tougher the second time.
There's no second time, Dex.
All right, sweetheart. Now take him back.
Yeah. You finished even, baby.
They promised me, Patsy, but they lied. He and Sandell, they killed Mike and they lied. Patsy, hold me. Hold me, Patsy.
Sorry, baby. You make this trip alone. There wasn't anything I could do for them, so I took a cab down to the Durban Arms on Eddy Street, but Sandell had checked out an hour before. The clerk told me his baggage was still around, though, so I figured that could only mean one thing. I put in a call for Hellman, and then I grabbed a cab and headed for Father Leahy's. By the time I got up on the hill, the fog had taken a lease on most of the town. You can always tell when it's thick because all the sounds out in the bay get a free ride. Halfway there, the driver was ready to quit, but for an extra $2, he threw the cab in second, and we crawled the rest of the way till we got a block from the church. By that time, the fog was so thick you could have sold it with a pound. I did the last block on foot. I was just about 20 yards away when I spotted Sandell and Mac the Gunsel standing under a streetlight just outside the door to the church. They waited a minute, and when they turned and started up the steps. Don't bother, Sandell. You called too late.
Huh? Who is it? Who's out there?
It's a smart punk, Lord Novak.
Novak. Come closer. I can't see in the fog.
Come on out and get me, Sandell.
There he is, Mac.
You're flying blind, Sandell. You made the trip for nothing. I got the gun and I got the papers.
He's lying, Lord.
Come on out, Novak. Make a deal.
I said you're late, Sandell. I already made the deal with Mac.
You're funny, Novak. This'll shut you up.
Not even close, Mac. Which one of you got the altar boy?
You sound worried, Novak. You want to tell him, Lud, or should I?
Mac deals a lot better than you shoot, Sandell. Ask him about it.
Huh? What's he saying, Mac?
He's saying nothing, Lud. He's talking crazy. Let's go out and get him. Ask Mac about this afternoon, Sandell. Ask him where he was when Dex got it. Ask him how I got the gun in the papers. He's crazy, Lud.
I'm not so sure, Mac.
Don't be a sucker, Lud. Novak's playing cute. Sorry, Mac. You took the chance. He's conning you, Lud. He's lying.
Could be, Mac, but I can't chance it.
Not you fool! All right, Sandell. Now it's just you and me in the fog.
Come on in, Novak. We'll work a deal. Come in where I can see you.
All right. That's 5 shots, Lud. You got 1 left to make good on. All right, Sandell, now we're even. Come here.
Let me go, Novak.
Yeah.
Lay off, Novak. What'd I do to you? Cut it out, will you? You didn't get hurt.
Talk to that altar boy, huh?
I didn't mean to hit the kid.
Oh, I'm sick of your mouth.
All right, Novak, that's enough. Novak, I said that's enough.
Yeah.
Let go of him. This Sandell?
Yeah, that's him.
A few minutes ago, we could have booked him for murder.
You can have him now, Hellman.
You saved the state some money, Novak. Neck's broken.
That you, Patsy?
Over here, Father. On the steps.
Hello, Inspector.
Father?
This the man, Patsy?
Yeah, Father, that's him.
I'll pray for him, Patsy.
Why waste it, Father? He wasn't worth it.
They said the same thing about 2 men on a hill in Calvary.
When the fog lifted the next morning, things got lots clearer for everybody. The story was the cheap earthy kind, but then so were the characters. After Mike Quinlan joined up with Sandell and his boys back in 1940, they pulled a bank job in Chicago. And instead of cutting in Mike on the take, Sandell framed him to take the rap for the 3 of them. Then Sandell came west to operate and lined up Quinlan's sister for his girlfriend. By the time Quinlan was paroled, he was fast on Sandell's game, and he had lots to beef about. He lined up enough good evidence to put Sandell and his 2 boys away for life, and then he threatened to spill it if Sandell didn't cut him in for his share of the job and stay white of his sister. Sandell wasn't generous, and he wasn't genteel, so he played along with his tongue in his cheek and a gun in his pocket. When the time came to swap money for evidence, Quinlan picked the church for a trading ground because that's where he'd hidden the box with the evidence. That's where we finally found it. The deal was all set to go when something scared Quinlan off, and Sandell came in, mistook me for Quinlan, and hit little Jake. Sandell's boys tried to get at Quinlan through his girl, Sally Kimbrough, and when she wouldn't spill, they killed her and planted the body in my apartment to take care of the opposition. Mac and Sandell were in the black sedan when it finally caught up with Quinlan in the alley off Mission Street. Well, what did I get out of all this? Nothing. Father Leahy took Jocko to dinner at Lupo's a couple of days later. Jocko's bar bill read like a Social Security number. Hellman asked only one question. How could Father Leahy ever pay for a dinner check that big? I don't know, but when he got back to his church, I noticed he slipped an IOU in the poor box.
Novak for Hire was previously released by ABC, the American Broadcasting Company, for listeners in the United States, and rebroadcast for our men and women overseas. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
The confession you are about to hear is an actual tape recording.
All right, go ahead. Read the statement, please.
I make this confession of my own free will because it is true. There has not been any force or violence used upon my person to induce me to make these statements. Without promise of immunity or regard or gratuity.
Or reward or gratuity.
I'm sorry. Or reward or gratuity, I confess.
You understand, of course, that your statement will be made public through the radio program Confession.
I do.
And that your name for the purpose of this broadcast will be Roger S. Chapman.
Yes.
For the good you believe it will accomplish, you'll now be permitted to tell your story. Do you understand all this?
Yes, sir. I understand. Maybe my problems will help people.
You are listening to Confession. This case history of the subject referred to as Roger S. Chapman is a matter of documented record. You will hear the story of his crime experience as told in his own words.
I don't know where to begin exactly.
Well, now, just in your own words, I want you to tell it as you remember it, Roger.
That's what I tell my patients.
Patients?
I am a hypnoanalyst. You know, using hypnosis for psychiatry.
Oh.
It's a legitimate field. I took courses. I had a good practice, so
Go on.
I was helping people who needed help. They liked me, respected me. I was somebody important. Even my father admitted that. I was somebody.
Even your father?
Yes. He wanted us, the whole family, to be proud of him. He insisted on it. He'd quote the Bible and make dramatic speeches about how he overcome his problems and all that sort of stuff.
What kind of work did your father do?
He sold real estate and managed a building on San Pedro Street, right here in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make a lot of money, but he was proud of his job. He thought it was something special, managing an office building. Maybe it was. Many of our people become porters and janitors and, well, you know.
All right, go on, Roger.
I used to tell him I wanted to do something special, too. I wanted to be somebody.
Of course.
But he'd just laugh, and he'd call me an oddball and tell me I'd better stay in my place and keep out of trouble. I guess that's why I got into trouble.
Oh? How do you mean?
No, I was about 16 then. Maybe a little over. There was a kid in our block. Lester McKay. He thought I was an oddball, too. A bookworm. That's what he'd call me. Well, I had to show him I wasn't. You know how kids are.
How did you do this?
We broke into a store on Los Angeles Street. We got caught. The judge was pretty nice. He saw we were kids, and he suspended the sentence and put us on probation.
I see.
Well, after that, I thought my father would give me a break, too, seeing the judge did. I thought he might understand how a kid feels when he's in a jam.
You, Paul, you, my son. What have I done to deserve you? What have I done?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shut up!
Listen, Paul.
Shut up, I said. A credit to your family you are. My son. My son. Huh?
Paul, please, I'm sorry.
Keep your mouth shut. You ain't got a right to speak around here anymore. I try to raise you up to be fit to live with. I try to give you something to live up to, and is this what I get for it? Is it?
I guess I was dead wrong.
A little crazy, maybe. Crazy is right. It's in the Bible all about you. Unstable as water. Thou shalt not excel.
Paul.
How am I going to face up to my clients tomorrow? How am I going to hold my head up and conduct my business with the whole world pointing a finger? Old Chapman's son is a crook, they'll be saying. Old Chapman's son is fallen among the thieves.
Honest, Paul, it won't happen again.
Man is born unto trouble. The book says so. And you were born to me, my son. Why do I deserve you? Why?
Paul, have a heart. It's the first time.
The first time? But how about the last time, Roger? Is it the last time, or ain't it?
Sure it is, Paul.
Wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. That's what the scripture says, Roger. Are you going to change the scriptures? Well, are you?
That's how he was, always quoting the Bible, never letting anyone else talk, especially me. Was I glad to get out of there.
Then you left home?
Sure. He wouldn't talk to me after that. He wouldn't let anybody else talk to me either. I got out as soon as I could.
Then where did you go?
Bummed around mostly. Took odd jobs. Washed dishes in a hash joint on Main Street. Ran an elevator in a building on Alameda Avenue. Worked on a delivery truck for the Times for a while, too. I quit that job because I wanted something better. I didn't find it, though. I didn't find anything. Around the holidays, Christmas time, I was still out of work. Broke. And you can get awful lonesome around Christmas. I wished I was dead.
Tell me, all this time you'd been completely out of touch with your family?
Sure. They didn't want me. I didn't belong there. I didn't belong anywhere. And everybody was busy shopping and rushing home. Well, I had to do something.
Like what?
Well, I knew Les McKay was working pretty steady. He was a pin boy at the Paradise Bowling Alley. So I went over and asked him to lend me some money.
You kidding, Roger? How you figuring on paying it back?
Look, Les, it's Christmas. After Christmas, I'll get a job. Nobody hires anybody during the holidays.
How do I know I'll see you after Christmas?
You got my word.
Ain't enough. I got to get back.
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
You got to lend me some money, Les.
Look who's telling me what I got to do.
I said I need money. I need it bad.
Let go of me.
It's your fault I'm in this spot. You got me into that store-breaking rap.
Let go of me, will you? I didn't make you do nothing.
I'm making you do something. I'm making you give me some money.
Hey, Roger, cut it out. Put that down. Put it down, Roger. I'll give you... Ow!
I guess I lost my head all right. There was a bowling pin there in the locker room where we were talking. I slugged him with it and took his wallet.
What about your friend Les? Was he hurt badly?
Not too bad, I guess. There was about $20 in the wallet. That was more money than I'd seen in weeks. First thing I did, I bought myself a big dinner. A Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I was still eating when the cops picked me up. Robbery, assault with a deadly weapon. Violated my probation.
How long did you get?
They sent me up for 5 years, minimum.
Where'd they send you?
San Quentin. It wasn't too bad. At least I finished my high school education up there. Got interested in psychiatry, too. Even took some special courses. I was paroled in 4 years.
You had a job?
Yeah, I had a job, all right. They fixed me up with a good job. Janitor in a cheap apartment house on Olive Street. The parole officer even came around to see how I was doing.
Hi, Roger.
Oh. Hi, Mr. Swanson.
How are you getting along?
Okay, I guess.
You didn't check in yesterday. I thought I'd stop around and see how you were.
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm the best janitor on Olive Street. I love my work. Nothing I'd rather do than empty garbage cans and scrub floors.
Now, take it easy, son.
Sure, take it easy. Look, Mr. Swanson, why do we always have to be janitors? Janitors and porters. I learned a lot in prison. I took a lot of courses. Why can't I study medicine or be a psychiatrist?
You know why, Roger. You know as well as I do.
But I could be good at it. I could
Those fields are closed to men with prison records.
Aren't there any exceptions?
Oh, surely, but you have to show us you can handle yourself before you start giving advice to others.
How? Emptying garbage cans?
Well, if necessary, yes. It takes some time to prepare for a professional career, and you have to eat. Even exceptions have to eat.
Yeah, you're right, I guess. But a janitor...
You know, you can make this job count, Roger. You can save some money. Start going to night school. Learn all you can. You may not be able to practice as a psychiatrist, but there are plenty of jobs in psychology you can do. Just give yourself a chance.
You stayed on the janitor job.
Yes. I hated it, but I kept it. I thought about what Mr. Swanson told me, and it sounded all right. I could save some money and go to school and maybe someday open up my own business. Have my own office as a consultant or do psychological research or something.
Then you started night school.
No.
Oh? No? Why?
Education costs money. And janitors don't make much money. At least I didn't. It costs money to be somebody these days.
Had you been working long?
Just a couple of months. But I was impatient. I felt like I never saved enough. And then one night I was walking home. It was late, so I stopped into a place for some coffee. A couple of men were in the next booth. I heard them talking about photography. One of them said he hoped the cameras would be okay out in the car. Well, I knew cameras were worth plenty. So I gulped my coffee and ducked outside. There the car was, right at the curb. I could see the cameras in them. Inside the car. They were little, you know, the little cameras, the imported kind. I knew imported cameras were worth a lot of money, and I needed a lot of money, so... Well, I don't know why I did it.
Did what?
The car wasn't locked. I opened the door and...
Hey, you!
What? Oh, no.
Hey, come back here, you! Hey, come back here with those cameras!
You are listening to Confession. Before continuing with the documented record of the subject referred to as Roger S. Chapman, the National Broadcasting Company is honored to present Mr. Richard A. McGee, Director of Corrections, Department of Corrections, State of California. Mr. McGee.
The case unfolding tonight is a demonstration of one man's tragic attempt to seek acceptance and stature in his community. Because of adverse conditions of environment, his drive for recognition became overemphasized to the point of abnormality. Such overemphasis often leads to crime. Correctional and parole officers, familiar with this behavior pattern, are constantly seeking ways to guide the maladjusted person into proper activities. When our rehabilitation program reaches its fullest development, society will then be able to redirect the energies of such individuals into healthy and useful channels.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. Now to continue with Confession and the documented record of the subject referred to as Roger S. Chapman.
I took both those cameras from that car. And a couple of light meters, too. I had my hands full, but I could still run pretty fast.
They didn't catch you then?
No. I waited a few days. Then I took the cameras and things to the hock shops around town.
Where'd you get one?
Well, all together, with the camera being imported and everything, I got $75. Then I decided to go down to San Diego. There's a good school down there. But they caught up with me.
The police did.
Yes. The waitress where I had that coffee, she remembered what I looked like.
And then what happened?
This time they sent me up to Folsom. 1 to 10 years.
I see.
Well, they helped me up there, too. Even more than at San Quentin. They let me work with the prison psychiatrist, marking tests and scoring IQ exams. That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot that way. And it helped when parole time came, too.
How was that?
Well, it helped me get a good job. This time it wasn't a janitor.
Oh, what did you do?
Well, I was a counselor for a church group. The lady in charge, she was pretty young. Maybe a couple of years older than I was. Her name was Miss Wesley.
The files are kept in that little room over there, Roger. Very convenient to your office.
My office?
Of course. Haven't you seen it yet?
No, I haven't.
Fine thing. Come on. I think you'll like it here, Roger. You won't get rich, but the work is very satisfying.
Well, I don't care about getting rich, Miss Wesley. I just want to do work that means something.
Here it is, panel door with your name on it and everything.
My office? Mine?
All yours. It could be larger, I suppose, but...
No, it's perfect. I'll like it here, all right, Miss Wesley. I'll like it fine. It was fine. For the first time in my life, I was helping people. People who asked me for advice. Treated me with respect. They listened to me. They acted as if I was really somebody. I wanted to help them some more. I wanted to do more, to learn more.
And that's when you started school?
Yes, there's a good school of hypnotism in town. It's not a phony. Nothing like that. It's got a good reputation and it teaches hypnoanalysis. The course was pretty expensive. It took most of my salary, but I learned a lot. Well, I learned enough to start a private practice.
Private practice?
Yes, as a hypnoanalyst.
Mm-hmm.
I did that while I kept my job as a church counselor. I didn't tell that to the parole officer. We talked on the phone every week or so, but I didn't tell him.
They're very pleased with your work at the church, Roger.
Well, I'm sure glad, Mr. Swanson.
Are you still dreaming of going into business for yourself?
What?
You mentioned it a long time ago.
Oh, that. Well, if I could, I'd do it. But if I can't,
Well, as long as you're happy at the church, stay put for a while. The more you learn there, the more you can help yourself.
Okay, Mr. Swanson.
And, Roger,
Yes, sir?
things are going your way now, son. Don't take any chances.
I couldn't help feeling he knew something about my private practice. I felt as if he were trying to warn me.
Well, why didn't you just tell him about it?
I almost did. But I knew he'd tell me I couldn't practice without a license. I couldn't qualify for a license. I didn't want to lose all of this. Not now. Not the way things were going.
You say you didn't want to lose all this. Were things that good?
Oh, I wasn't making much money. Not much to speak of. School took most of it. I needed special books and some equipment, too. But the church was still paying me, and I got along. Funny how you can get along when people want you around. I had 15 clients. Patients. I did a good job treating them. Even Mr. Swanson admitted that.
Then Mr. Swanson knew.
Yeah, he dropped in on me at my office one day by surprise.
Sorry to interrupt your work like this, Roger, but I'm afraid it won't matter now.
Won't matter? What do you mean?
Roger, you know better. This hypnoanalyst business. You're practicing without a license.
Well, I don't qualify for one. I thought...
Exactly. You're operating outside the law. You can't afford to do that. You have too much to lose.
But I'm not doing anything that isn't legitimate. I'm doing a good job here. Look at these files. Here. These charts. Case histories. These letters from patients Look at these letters. Look, I helped these people. I'm doing a good job, Mr. Swanson. Here, look. Please look, Mr. Swanson. Look at these.
I know. The parole board checked into it. They know you're doing a good job, better than a lot of men in the field.
Then...
But you've been convicted of a felony. The law states that you've lost your civil rights. That includes the right to qualify for a license for...
Is that what laws are for? To keep people from making a decent living? Is that what they're for?
Roger.
I do something worthwhile for once in my life. I help people. I do a good job, and I'm against the law.
Roger, listen to me. You help other people, but you aren't helping yourself. You've got to learn to help yourself.
What for? What's the use?
For your own sake, and the sake of those others. Now sit down and listen to me. Sit down. Your work in this field has been pretty exceptional. We might be able to work out a restoration of rights for you.
How?
Let the parole board worry about that. It will take some time, though.
How long?
I don't know. But it's worth the wait. You'll have to stop accepting fees. You'll have to discontinue this practice while your case is being checked.
For how long? How long?
I don't know, Roger. It may take a few weeks. Just try to be patient. Okay?
You followed instructions.
I waited. It was pretty tough, but I knew it was worth it. I didn't have any money, though. The money from the church work went to pay my debts, the office debts. I slept on the couch in the office to save room rent. Just barely got by. Then my father showed up.
Your father?
Yes. The first time in, almost 10 years. He was different from the way I remembered. He looked beaten. The proud look wasn't there anymore. At first I thought he resented me for having a nice office with a name on the door and all. But I might have been wrong. I never could quite understand my father.
This is good, son. It's good. I'm proud to see you making a name for yourself.
Well, it took quite a while, Paul.
And worth every minute of it, too, eh, boy? I admit this surprised me, Roger, but you make me very happy, son.
You mean that?
A wise son maketh a glad father. The book says that, you know. And it takes wisdom to be somebody these days.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I've heard all about it. You're making good. You're doing good work. Work that reaps rewards in heaven. Blessed is he that considers the poor, as the scripture says. You think you could help your poor father?
I sure can.
I need a little help, son.
Oh? Is something wrong?
Well, things haven't been so good, Roger. Since your first trouble, things have gone from bad to worse for me. Will you help me, boy?
Well, sure, if I can.
I could pay it back by Monday at the latest.
Oh. Well, I don't have much money.
$300?
I haven't got it. Not that much.
I'll get it back to you by Monday.
But, Paul, I haven't got it.
You can get it, can't you?
Well,
wouldn't someone trust you for $300?
Trust me? Well, sure, but... Well,
Son, believe me, I'm desperate. Is it a sin for a son to help his own father?
No, Paul. But Well, if I could be sure you'll have it back to me no later than Monday...
Are you doubting your own father, Roger? Well, are you?
I was crazy, maybe. But I felt big being able to help him. Bigger than I'd ever felt before in my whole life.
What did you do?
I wrote a check for $300 and signed my pastor's name to it. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't turn my father down. I went with him to cash the check, just to be sure he got the money. I just knew he'd have the money back on Monday because he said so. He promised me faithfully. I even expected him sooner. But Saturday and Sunday came, didn't show up. I waited all day Monday, then Tuesday. On Wednesday, Miss Wesley called me into her office.
Come in, Roger. Shut the door.
Sit down.
Hello, Roger.
Oh, Mr. Swanson. Didn't see you.
Roger, we've done everything possible to help you. Everything.
I know.
Then why do you do a thing like this to us?
Like what?
Like this.
Oh. The check.
Yes, the check. Signing the pastor's name. An out-and-out forgery. Roger, I don't understand you.
I had to do it, Miss Wesley. My father needed money. He needed help.
You need help too, Roger. You need it more than your father.
But he promised to have the money back on Monday. He promised.
That's not the point. You forged this check. Why?
I expected to have the money back on Monday. He promised. If you'll ask him, he'll explain. I know he'll explain.
Your father's gone, Roger.
Gone?
Gone. He skipped town.
Gone? Well, he could explain all about this. You sure he's gone?
Yes, Roger. Sure.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either, Roger. You did such good work. You were a wonderful counselor, and yet you... Why, Roger? Why?
My own father. I helped him. Why doesn't he help me?
You have just heard an actual confession. This case history of the subject referred to as Roger S. Chapman is a matter of documented record. To protect the legal rights of the subject, names and places were changed or deleted. Technical advice for confession comes from the Office of the Director of Corrections, Department of Corrections, State of California. In a moment, you will again hear Roger S. Chapman.
Subject, Roger S. Chapman, found guilty, forgery. Sentence, 1 to 14 years. Assigned, California State Prison, San Quentin. Psychologist report, IQ test, 137, Wexler, Bellevue. Psychiatrist report, strong rejection complex. Dominant personality inhibited. Recommendation, extensive group therapy. Sociologist report, subject cooperative. Suggest transfer to minimum security institution. Work assigned, psychiatrist's assistant. Very satisfactory. Possibility for parole. Fair.
Well, that's my story. As much as I can tell you about it. The other day, one of the counselors up here reminded me of a line from the Bible. Physician, heal thyself. It fits my case pretty well. I can help others, but I'm too close to my own problems to see them clearly. But I understand them better now than I ever did before in my whole life. Much better. I'm up for parole again in about 8 months. That'll be my big test. I've got to pass the test this time. I've got to. I've got to.
This has been Confession, transcribed statements of actual crimes. These true tragedies are brought to you each week as an NBC Radio Network production in an effort to stem the nation's forward march of crime. Credit for this broadcast goes to our cast: Paul Frees, James Edwards, Jester Hairston, J. Loft Lynn, Jonathan Hole, Mady Norman. Script Don Brinkley. Music Michael Samogi. Script supervision Warren Lewis. Direction Homer Canfield. John Wall speaking. Confession, a Canfield Lewis creation, came to you from California.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
Blue Coal presents The Shadow,
a man of mystery who strikes terror in the very souls of sharpsters, lawbreakers, and criminals. All signs point to a severe winter. Be prepared. If you want to be sure of even, dependable, healthful heat in any kind of weather, insist on Blue Coal, America's finest anthracite mined from the fields of northern Pennsylvania. The coal that has colored a harmless blue at the mines for your protection.
You can't take me to the jail. You can't do it. Let me out of here. Let me.
Paul Gordon, listen.
Huh? I can't see anybody. Who's that?
I am the Shadow. Stop. We haven't much time. We must hurry, Gordon. You're in the death house, charged with murder.
Yes, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. But nobody knows it.
Take courage, Gordon. The Shadow knows.
All right, Margot, won't you sit down? I told Albo to serve our coffee here in the library, unless you'd rather go on the terrace.
No, I prefer it here.
Then let me see you smile. That frown is most unbecoming.
Lamont, give it up.
Give what up, my dear? Drinking coffee?
I'm serious, Lamont Cranston. When I foolishly let you know that... Do you remember what you said? It will be exactly 5 years next week.
But there's still so much to do, Margot.
Well, then let somebody else do it. Don't you realize that you can't keep on like this forever? Someone's certain to identify you, and when that someone does, someone else is certain to kill you.
Perhaps, but until they do... Oh, darling, stop frowning.
I don't mean necessarily to give up your work, Lamont, but this other. Let the Shadow just disappear and come out openly. Join the organized forces of law and police.
Won't you realize, Margot, that my entire usefulness to the organized forces of law and police lies in my remaining outside those forces, in remaining always the Shadow? Would they approve my methods? Would they believe in my science?
You would make them believe. You could make them approve.
And in doing so, reveal my secrets, my knowledge. Reveal them and eventually let them fall into the hands of organized crime. No, Margot. No one must ever know. No one but you. Why do you think I've devoted countless hours to investigating electrical and chemical phenomena? Why do you think I went to India, to Egypt, to China? What do you think I studied in London, Paris, and Vienna? Except to learn the old mysteries that modern science has not yet rediscovered. The natural magic modern psychology is beginning to understand, and, well, magic that wouldn't seem so natural. I studied and learned for a purpose, my dear.
All right, Lamont, I realize all that. But now the entire underworld has but one objective. To erase the Shadow. And to me, that means...
Until they know what the Shadow is and who he is, what can they do? Stop and think how many criminals are either dead or in prison because of our activities. Why, even now, tonight, as we sit quietly here, somewhere, an innocent human being may be in desperate trouble. Somewhere, perhaps, there is a problem that can never be solved, except by the Shadow.
What did the doctor say, Grace?
It was good news and bad, too, I'm afraid, dear.
Well, whatever it was, dear, tell me.
Well, he said the baby could be perfectly well again within a year.
Oh, thank God for that. Poor kid. She's had a tough time. Well, what else?
Well, this part isn't so good, Paul. She'll need treatments during all that time. Paul, treatments cost money.
I know. Well, we'll have to manage somehow. You didn't do a very good job marrying me, dear.
Darling.
If I could only get a job. I've got my health and I've got brains. But no one seems to want them.
Oh, they will, dear. They've got to.
You're right about that. We're just about down to rock bottom. I've raised every cent I can on the house and car. There isn't anything left.
You and I are still left, Paul. And we've got to take care of Sally. She's our daughter, Paul, and she's got to have her chance.
And she's going to have it. Somehow. Tomorrow I'll start out and take anything I can get.
Darling,
Perhaps tomorrow things will break for us.
Yes. If only they don't break the wrong way.
No more beds.
Okay. Over here.
Take these two over, Bill.
Excuse me, but are you the boss here?
That's right.
I'm looking for a job.
Nothing doing, buddy.
I'll do anything. Wait on table, wash dishes, anything at all.
I don't need any more help.
Well, how about delivering things? I've got a car.
Nope, I don't deliver nothing. Sorry, don't need you.
I see. All right. Thanks.
Hey, you. What?
You calling to me?
Yeah, sit down. Have a beer.
No, thanks. I don't drink.
Anyhow, sit down. Meet a friend of mine. Name's Lefty. My name's Red. Look at my hair and you'll know why.
Well, I'm glad to meet you both. Gordon's my name. Paul Gordon. Well, do you want to talk to me about something?
We might. Might be able to help you out. Sounds like you're looking for a job.
You bet I am. I need one. You know anybody that could use me?
Maybe. We don't know you yet.
Huh. So far as that goes, I don't know you either.
See, Red, the guy's smart.
Yeah, maybe too smart.
Now, look here, Mr. Gordon. We need a car, and we need somebody to drive it for us. You understand?
Well, I've got a car, and I can drive.
Is it a good car? Has it got speed?
I'll guarantee you up to 80.
That's not bad. It's not bad. Now, listen, kid. How about meeting us tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock?
All right. Where?
Well, let's see. We're going to, I got it. Right in front of the Uptown Bank. We got to go there first to cash a check.
Well, how about $5 a day?
That's so. But you remember, be there at 9 o'clock, or you don't get no job.
Don't worry, I'll be there. I'll be there at 8 o'clock.
Hey, buddy, you can't keep this car in front of the bank all day. Can't you see that sign, no parking?
I'm not parking, officer. I'm waiting for a couple of men. I'm working for them.
Oh. Hey, what's that?
That sounds like shots. In the bank.
Hey, stop there, you.
You got him, Lefty. Here he is with the car. Come on, you start that bus for us. Step on it, fella. Hey, brother, you can't do that. Get gone, I will shoot.
Let him have it, Red. Hold him off.
I'll hold him. Wish I'd never have shot that cop. Can't you get no more speed out of this car, fella?
She's doing all she can.
Shoot at the tires, Red.
Missed him.
Right a windshield. Say, let me out of this. Take the car. They'll think I'm in with you. That's just what we're figuring on. Now, here comes a curve. After you make that, stop. Get ready, Red.
I'm ready. I'm just leaving the evidence.
Put it under the seat cushion.
Right.
Okay, goodbye, Gordon.
Thanks for the...
Hey, wait, you guys. Don't leave me like this. They'll think I did it. Hey, come on back, will you? Come back.
Up with their hands. Come on, get them up.
All right, officer. I haven't got a gun. I wasn't in this. They made me drive the car.
Yeah, keep your hands up just the same. Go through the car, Charlie. Okay, Sarge. Now, fella, you might as well come clean on this.
I haven't done anything. I tell you, I'm innocent.
Hey, Sarge, I got it. Under the rear seat cushion, a bag full of bills and a gun.
That's the gun that bumped off my buddy Louis. And you say you're innocent.
Yes, I am.
Well, it'll take more than saying so to keep you out of the electric chair.
Order in the court. Order in the court. Paul Gordon, the jury have found you guilty of robbery under arms and of statutory murder. You have been shown to have had both motive and opportunity. The prosecution has piled up a mass of incontrovertible evidence, and I myself have no doubt of your guilt. Therefore, in accordance with the law, I direct that you be taken from here to the place from whence you came, and that there you be put to death in the manner stated by the law. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Hey, who's that? Where'd that laugh come from?
Who laughed? Bring that person before the cops.
Well, I don't know where he is, Your Honor.
The laugh came from over there, in that corner.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor, but there's no one in that corner. Only a shadow.
Please, dear. Mother will be right here in the next room.
Oh, God. Please help me. Help me. I don't know what to do.
Yes? Who is it?
My name is Margot Lane. I have a message for you, Mrs. Gordon.
You're not a reporter, are you?
No, I'm a friend. I've come to help.
Oh, then please come in. What is it you want, Miss Lane?
Mrs. Gordon, your husband has a friend who's going to help him. Here's $1,000 in cash.
What?
That's for you and Sally.
1,000? Who was it sent this to me?
Well, that I can't tell you. But the message with it is not to lose hope.
Oh, there is hope for Paul, then.
The man who sent this to you never fails.
Who is he?
Well, that I can't tell you.
But, Miss Lane, you know him.
Sometimes I wonder whether I do. I love him. But I wonder whether I know him.
What do you mean?
It's hard to tell whether I really know the man or only his shadow.
Well, Lefty, tonight the fall guy goes to the chair.
That's what he gets for being a sucker.
Yeah, there's not a clue that even points our way.
Not even a print. We had gloves on all the time.
You had yours off for a minute when you were sitting next to him.
Yeah, but I didn't touch the wheel.
Then we ain't left a clue.
You think so?
Who said that? You, Lefty?
No, I thought it was you.
It was I. You cannot see me.
Who are you?
And where are you?
I am here in the room, in the shadow. You have pinned your crime on an innocent man. He shall not suffer, but you will.
I don't know who you are, where you are, but you're bluffing anyway. You got no evidence. We didn't leave a clue.
You did leave a clue. A clue that will send you to the chair.
Where was it? Where was it? You're lying.
Wouldn't you like to believe that? Keep thinking about it. Keep thinking about the clue that you forgot. Margot Lane. Paul Gordon is in the death house and is to die in the chair tonight. I am going to him now. We can still save him. Stand by for orders.
In a few moments, we will return to the shadow. But before we do, let me stress this one fact. For home heating, anthracite is best. And America's finest anthracite is blue coal. Anthracite is the healthful fuel. It gives steady, uniform heat that helps prevent colds and cuts down doctor's bills. For with anthracite, there is no quick chilling of the house, such as you get with fuels of the on and off type, or with quick burning fuels that flare up and burn out. Bear in mind that heating plants in this part of the country were especially designed to burn anthracite. So before that cold snap catches you unaware, call your local blue coal dealer. You'll find his name listed in the Where to Buy It section of your classified directory under the words Blue Coal. Call him tomorrow and order a supply of America's finest anthracite.
Gordon, have you got any word from the governor?
I'm sorry, Gordon. The governor refuses to take any action.
Then I've got to go. Tonight?
At 11 o'clock.
What time is it now?
Almost 10. Is there anything I can do for you?
No. Thank you, Gordon.
Very well. These guards will move you to another cell. I'll be back in a little while.
Ready, Gordon?
Yes, guard.
We're just going to move you to another cell.
What does it matter?
The one you're going to is nearer.
Nearer to the chair, is that it? Oh. All right. Let's go.
All right, Gordon. Walk to the left.
We'll be right here behind you.
Unlock the door into the preparation chamber, Pete.
Okay. Just a second.
All right. Go on through, Gordon. Watch him, Pete. I'll shut the door.
What's the use of all this trouble? What chance have I got now?
I'm afraid you haven't got much, fella.
I wouldn't say that.
What do you mean?
Holy smokes. Look behind you.
Where?
There. Too bad. I hated to do that, but there wasn't any other way, and he'll only be out for a while. Now, Gordon, listen to me.
Hey, where are you? I can't see you anymore. Where have you gone?
Back into the shadow. Now, Gordon, we haven't much time. Listen to me. No crime is perfect. There's always somewhere a loose end. The only reason that all crimes aren't solved is because there's some one fact that someone knows and doesn't tell. And sometimes they don't tell because they don't know that they know.
I told everything I know in court. They wouldn't believe me then.
Because you couldn't prove what you said. We are going after the proof now. You and I.
How?
I'm going to think with your mind.
I don't know what you mean.
Don't try to understand. Just do as I tell you. I want you to concentrate, Gordon. Fix your mind on everything that happened that day. Make mental pictures. I'll see what you see.
I'll try.
No, Gordon. Stop thinking about your wife and baby.
How did you know I was thinking about that?
I saw it in your mind. I see in my mind the pictures you create in yours.
Oh, like television?
Yes, or like mental telepathy or mind reading, hypnotism, whatever you choose. There's no time to talk. Stop talking. Think.
I will. I'm thinking now.
The picture is getting clearer. That's better. Go on. The restaurant? The bar? Gordon, stop thinking about the electric chair. It blurs the picture.
I'll try.
That's better. The car in front of the bank. Yes, I see it. The policeman. The crowd. Yes. Wait a minute. The small man with red hair. He was the one you called Red.
Yes,
I see him. Crooked nose, short, glasses. I know that man. He's Red Sloan.
It's hard to see.
I know. Think for your life. Try hard. Yes, you started the car. The other, Lefty, was in front with you. Lefty. See him for me, Gordon. Ah, yes. A scar on his left cheek. Why didn't you mention that in court?
I forgot.
Never mind. Concentrate. Yes. Lefty couldn't keep you covered with a gun and look back at the same time. What did he do?
He reached up and twisted the rear view mirror.
Now we've got it. That's the loose end. That's where his thumbprint will be. Gordon, now I can save you. You've told the truth. You didn't know you knew.
Another one over here.
Red, you're a fool for coming in here again. This is the place we picked up that kid that's burning tonight. What you want to come in here for?
This is as good a place as any, ain't it?
Hey, telephone for you, Lefty.
Telephone?
Yeah, maybe you never heard of it, but it's a great invention.
But nobody knows I'm here.
Well, somebody knows because they're waiting on the phone for you. It's over there on the wall.
Okay.
Don't be too long, Lefty.
Hello? Say, what are you laughing at? Who is this?
Lefty. Did you ever hear of the Shadow?
Yeah. Say, what is this?
Too bad about young Gordon, isn't it, Lefty?
What do you know about that?
The Shadow knows.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want justice. Justice for Paul Gordon, Lefty. And I'm going to get it.
But you ain't got no evidence.
No. Perhaps there are some fingerprints, Lefty.
Oh, no. We had gloves on. There couldn't be no fingerprints.
Did you have gloves on all the time?
Yeah, sure. I did.
You're left-handed. Now listen carefully, Lefty. When you were sitting in the front seat of Gordon's car, your gun was in your left hand. Remember?
Say, you ain't nobody, are you? It's just... Say, how do you know?
What did you do with your right hand?
My right hand?
You took off your right glove, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I didn't. No. Gosh, I'm going nuts.
And you couldn't see the car that was chasing you because the angle of the rear view mirror was adjusted for the driver and you weren't driving, so... Do you remember what you did?
No, I didn't. I didn't take it off.
Are you sure you didn't reach up with your bare right hand and turn that rear view mirror? Are you sure, Lefty?
No, I didn't. I didn't. Maybe I did. That.
If the police find that fingerprint, you'll burn, Lefty. Just the way young Gordon's going to burn. Tonight. Goodbye, Lefty.
Hey, wait a minute. He hung up. No. I won't burn. Hey, Red!
Yeah, certainly jabbed long enough. Say, who was the guy
Never mind that. Where's that car of Gordon's now?
In his garage. I guess I heard his wife cry.
Listen.
What?
I got a hunch. There's some fingerprints of mine in that car. Red, we gotta wipe them off of there, or maybe we'll burn in that chair, too.
Come on, let's go.
But, Commissioner...
I'm sorry, Miss Lane, but I don't see what we can do.
But I tell you, Paul Gordon is innocent. The men who committed the crime are free.
Where did you get this information?
Oh, that I can't tell you.
Miss Lane, Paul Gordon was convicted of murder by due processes of law. Tonight he pays for his crime in the electric chair. If the police listened to every crank who came in here claiming new
But
evidence...
they can't send an innocent man to the chair. They can't do it.
No, but they can send a guilty man. And according to the evidence, Paul Gordon is guilty.
Commissioner, suppose that afterwards, when it's too late, they discover that Paul Gordon wasn't guilty after all. And suppose I testify that the police refused to listen.
Well, what do you want me to do? If it's within reason, I'll do that.
I want you to send some men to that garage. I want you to catch the guilty men and see that justice is done.
Gordon, I'm frightened.
Brace up, Gordon. It won't be long.
Keep your chin up, buddy. My turn next.
So long, fella. Good luck.
Bye-bye, kid.
Where is he? He promised to save me.
Who, son?
I don't know. It was a voice. Just a voice. He said he'd stand by.
Now, steady, old man. Don't lose your nerve, Gordon. Open it up, men.
No, I won't go in there. I didn't do it. I didn't kill him. I didn't, I tell you. He said he'd stand by. Warden, wait. Only a few minutes more. Just a few minutes. Don't take me in there yet. No, wait, please. He said, please wait.
Easy, Gordon. I'm sorry.
But if I go in that door, I'm gone. It'll be too late then.
Take him in, men.
No, wait. Oh, where are you? Where's that voice? Where did he go? Please come back.
Warden!
Wait a minute, men. Well, what is it?
Warden, wait. The governor's on the phone. He says stop. Hold up everything.
What'd the governor say?
He wants to talk to you on the phone, Warden. He says don't electrocute this man. They've got the other two guys in Gordon's garage trying to rub out some fingerprints. One of them was shot and died. But before he died, he spilled it all. This fellow didn't do it. It was a frame-up.
Oh, thank God he got me in time. Gordon! Did you hear that?
Yes. Yes, I heard it. That voice said he would. I'm free. You're not going to electrocute me, Warden. You're not.
No, Gordon. The governor saved you.
governor? No, it wasn't the governor. It was somebody else. Or something else.
But what do you mean, Gordon? Who saved you?
I don't know. It was a voice. Just a voice. I never really saw him. He was only a shadow.
Before another adventure with the Shadow draws to a close, John Barclay, Blue Coal's heating expert, would like to say a few words. Mr. Barclay.
Good evening, friends. If you're interested in having a more comfortable home this winter, be sure to call your local Blue Coal dealer. For he's more than a fuel dealer. He's an authority on modern home heating. You see, for more than 6 years, I've trained servicemen for these Blue Coal dealers. These men, known as John Barclay servicemen, have added thousands of families like yours to enjoy a greater degree of comfort and to save heating dollars, too. I'm going to read part of a letter typical of many received from satisfied customers using Blue Coal and John Barclay service. I quote in part. The service rendered by your John Barclay servicemen has been invaluable to me. We were burning a ton of coal a week and having great difficulty in keeping our fire going throughout the night. Your serviceman made me many helpful suggestions regarding the proper way to regulate the furnace and recommended the use of Blue Coal. We not only reduced the amount of fuel consumed to 1/2, but actually got more heat. Think of that, friends. In this case, a family cut their fuel bill in half simply by following the advice of a John Barclay serviceman, whose services were given without charge. Now, you don't have to buy Blue Coal to benefit from John Barclay service. No matter what kind of fuel you're using or from whom you've been buying, if you have any heating problems, consult the Blue Coal dealer. He'll be very glad to place his John Barclay serviceman at your disposal to solve your problems. I thank you.
The story you have just heard is copyrighted by the Shadow magazine. Real names are never used in these Shadow stories.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows.
Thanks very much for joining us tonight. We'll be back again next week, 19 January 2025, with more programs from the golden age of radio. As always, until we see you again, sleep tight. This is a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.